Hello, everyone. It's here again. Episode 94. Crikey. Here we are. And as usual, we've got Delboy here doing his thing. Wonderful. So I'm just going to get on with it, as I say. Let's get on with it. Bayek, what have you been watching, lad?
He scares me to death, right? First of all, he says how many episodes we've done, and I'm going, bloody hell, right? It weren't too long ago when I was saying 64, like
Yeah.
that Beatles track. When I'm
Yeah.
64, now it's 94. Shit, time
You
goes
feel
very
like 94 now.
Time goes very quick. And I was saying that in my blog because my blog this week is the 52nd week of year 4, which means that the following week I go into year 5. That's scary.
Yeah.
Year 5. As an anniversary of when I started on YouTube. I mean, that's got to be. You got to start doing a bit of reflection, I think. There.
Of course, why not?
Which is why I've been looking a little bit at reflection, a little bit. About what do people like, what do people don't like. Is there something that you'd like to see more of? Something I took away that you want to bring back? I don't know, stuff like that. I'm sure people will comment. I don't know. If they don't, I carry on the way I'm doing. It still has its stem in what it was originally for, which is a diary. It's all it is. It's not a blog, really. It's a diary. I keep saying that, and that's why some people might not like what I say, because it's pure. This is what happened to me this week, and my thoughts. So I have to look at it like that and just go, let it, you just continue like that. So, I'll see what it's like this week. But what have I been watching? Well, I'll tell you what. I watched over the weekend The Truman Show. I haven't seen Truman Show in absolutely ages. Do you know I bought the steelbook of that about a year or so ago? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Have you seen The Truman Show?
Yes, I think it's a great film. Great performance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you like about it, but I do think it's got things in there that are very, very scary and very near knuckle truth. And it's all on reality TV and cameras and privacy. And then, of course, you've got we're the first channel to actually adopt him. How have you got the right to adopt someone? Bloody hell, for a TV program. That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, there's all of that. So I really like that. Last night, I couldn't get to sleep, and I turned the telly on, and they had those Hammer House of Mystery and Suspense. Not the ones that have come out on Blu-ray. I think these are the ones that were little movies. They're about an hour and a half long. They did.
It's the DVD releases. I think I've got both. I've got both.
Yeah. Now these are the ones I don't think I've got, because I've got the ones that are like The House That Dripped Blood and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
These ones are fit. The one that was on last night was a one called Checkmate, which had Susan George in it. And
that's
Patrick
right.
Maurer
Yeah.
And these are an hour and a half long. The week before, it was David McCallum, and he was a sort of security guy looking at people
That's
and
right.
his neighbor being stalked.
That's great.
And I was going, do you know what? I ought to try and search these out, because I don't think I've got them.
I think they're out of print.
Oh, they will be down sure, but I'm going to look on things like Music Magpie. You inspire me to do.
Yeah, I hope you find them, because they're worth having. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I'm going to be sort of doing. What have I sort of picked up? What else did I watch? Let me have a look. So I've mentioned the Truman Show, haven't I? Yeah, the stuff that's on ITV have been pretty shit, because they've been they've been sort of like, what's the word? There's repeats of stuff that they did before Christmas. There hasn't been anything really new. I'm not really interested in things like Under Siege and things like that. So I'll just go what's turned up this week, I think. So I'll turn my little picture thing off. Excuse me while I try and find the control panel for it. I can never find the damn thing. Let me do that and show. There we go. And then I'll turn the background off. There you go. So you can see what I'm doing. So you inspired me to go to that vintage classic things. I think Muckman's been going to vintage classics.
Yeah, they're good.
and, and you mentioned the Mask of the Red Death. Now, the reason what I did was, and I mentioned this to you just before we came on, was that I've got a lot of these on DVD, and these were just too good to not buy in a 2 for £15 because they're like £7.50, and I can afford that. I don't want to say I'm broke, but I can afford that. And the Mask of the Red Death is Vincent Price, so there's nothing that I ain't gonna not love. And of course, it's during a period where it was all Roger Corman, and the reds were reds and the blues were blues, and it was really, really rich in color, and the horror was, I mean, it was great. It was a great time. So this was really good. So I liked picking up that.
Beautiful.
One that I'm going to do a review of, because this was, I think, a godsend sign for me. When I was going through my list, I didn't know that I had this on DVD and haven't actually upgraded it at all, and that's Scott of the Antarctic. Now, Scott of the Antarctic is a classic, one that me and my dad sat down and watched. John Mills. And to be quite honest, it's such a sandies, but you know what I mean? It's just such an epic film because it's all the preparation, and then there's the going, and then there's the one by one, you know what I mean, of what happens to them, and then ultimately, where they all ended up. So I think that should be in quite a few people's classic collections, like Dam Busters and 633 Squadron and things like that. I think it's sort of in with all of that, really. And these two, because they go together, are DVD to Blu-ray upgrades, but I could have easily have gone to 4K on this, and that is the Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
And the Four Musketeers.
Of course, you've got to have that.
You got to have both, haven't you?
Yeah.
You think to yourself, oh, two, and it's got their brand new restoration. It says it there, and they were in the 4K range. So I could have got, 3 of these for 50 quid, but for 30 quid, and got 4 films. And like I said, I was inspired by Muckman movies and yourself to sort of like go and have a little look at the vintage collection. And I'm very glad I did, because I got, I think, a couple of bargains there as major restoration upgrades. It's a shame I haven't got that sort of collateral that I can get everything on 4K these days, and everything's a steel book and all of that sort of stuff. But it's not about that. It's about the film and the enjoyment of going back to it, looking at it, going, oh yeah, this is entertaining. And isn't that picture so much more of a step up from the last time I watched it on DVD and all of that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
Now I have to mention this. Muckman's just mentioned a film that I think is absolutely wonderful, and that's Battle Beyond the Stars. Battle Beyond the Stars is one of those ones that Denny told me there was a steelbook of, and I went and got bought that on steelbook, and I absolutely love it. I mean, we all know it's the the Magnificent Seven, isn't it? Really, it's so in space, but it's a Roger Corman film, and it's got John Walton from the Waltons, hasn't it? In it flying around in a ship that looks like 2 great big testicles flying through space, etc. But the soundtrack is by James Horner, and if you listen to the soundtrack of Battle Beyond the Stars, it's almost 60% in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Right? It's again Horner, you see, and it was one of his early films. I mean, it's eerie when you listen to the score, right? Because there are so many motifs that are in that particular soundtrack that he's actually just copied and pasted across. And I tried to teach you a little bit of stuff this week with soundtracks, because I sent you a little thing that quite which I thought was really good. Yeah. It was. This is what it is. They're doing a what if, and what they're saying is, what if Howard Shore or Jerry Goldsmith wrote the Game of Thrones theme? And this week it's what if John Williams or whatever wrote the score to I forgot what it is actually because it only came out today. And then you've got these two composers that sort of like really like these people's music, and they've done their own interpretation of what he thought that those composers would, how they'd compose it. And it's really quite interesting. And I really do like listening to that interpretation of it. You know me and soundtracks, I can talk probably quite at length with it, but I think it bores people to death. And really, I'd like to do something like a podcast one day where I'm not restricted by copyright, so I can actually play the tracks that I'm talking about. Because I find talking about something can be a bit stilted and stale, and then people are going, "I haven't even heard this track. I don't know what the hell he's talking about." And it doesn't really inspire someone until you actually play an excerpt of it, and then you go, "Oh yeah, that does sound like something I'd like to listen to." And you can't do that with YouTube because you get a copyright strike.
Yeah,
it really is sad. Really, it's why actually trailers have not come back. There's I told you about a month or so ago that I got a copyright strike 18 months after I actually did the blog on it. And it's like I had to then chop my own blog from a year and a half ago out, otherwise it was hidden. And that meant I had one blog that was never being able to be seen. I can't have that. So I had to go back 18 months and find the damn thing and then cut that bit out and all of that sort of stuff. So it really annoyed me. So finding a trailer that doesn't have a bit of music in that's got some sort of copyright to it's really, really difficult.
Yeah, I know. I know. I miss your you were saying on your blog about things, you know, how they are, and I honestly miss your trailers, but I know it's becoming a pain because you're trying to find the right trailer to show at the end where you didn't get you know, copyright strike. It was so difficult, but I always thought they were always nice, especially for old films.
Well, you see,
the
Delboy film shorts, I can risk it, right? Because they're 10-minute long little reviews of films with a trailer at the end to tell you, you know, this is the film, right? And I can upload a 10-minute short into YouTube in 6 minutes, say, right? And they'll do a copyright check, and then they'll tell you instantly, no, that's fine or not, right? Yeah. So it's not going to hurt me much. To edit out something after you've done 2 hours and 15 minutes of talking, and you put the trailers at the end, and they tell you one of those trailers, sorry, mate, you can't have, is a right faff because it has to encode the whole damn thing. All 2 hours and 15 minutes while you cut out a 30-second segment of a tune that it didn't like. So I'm not saying trailers are gone. It's just they're gone really from blogs because it just takes so long. I mean, if I got a copyright strike and it appears at 3 o'clock, it will be 6 o'clock when you'll see it. By the time it's cut out.
Yeah. That's not
and yet I recorded it in the morning. You know what I mean? It's just it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Right, isn't it?
So I just want to say thanks to everybody for all their major support, as always. And I'm going to have to go and look after my mum in the next couple of minutes. So I'm looking forward to hearing what your first film is that you're going to talk about, and then I'll come back and you can, and I can interact with everybody and say hello to McMahon and hello to Cy and Tony Yorks and all of that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? that bastard. You know, I can see him already in the wings. So anyway, you start talking now. I'm going to shut up, and then when you see my screen go off, you'll know I'll be back in about half an hour.
Okay. Right. I'll start where well, what you sent me, the downloads, because I think they were really good. What you Greenland 2020 and Greenland 2 Migration 2026. I was surprised at these films actually because I thought they were going to be just a typical disaster movie and what have you. And I think there were more than that. I think they were they had it had more depth to it. It was, I think the whole concept and idea of these films was Gerard Butler, who was involved in producing and getting all that, and he of course stars in the film, and he's good actually. I think he's very good, and it also has this other actress who is interesting called Marina Baccarin. She was in that Serenity film
Yeah, that's
we
right.
know about, and then she was in the Deadpool film. She was in Deadpool, the first one, Deadpool 2, and Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
I must be honest, I'm not a big Deadpool fan, but she's obviously done quite well. Being in those films.
Oh, so I must say here just before, I have watched Greenland and Greenland 2 as well, being as I sent them to you. I didn't mention that in things that I watched.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you're going to talk about when I go. But there's one other film that I did watch. Forgot to mention it. I watched again The Terminal Man.
Ah, right. What did
Not many people talk about The Terminal Man.
Yeah.
It is a Michael Crichton film. It didn't do terrifically well. I think it's worth watching again if you haven't seen it in many, many years. I will say that because I looked at it with new eyes and I thought to myself, this is very bland looking. But then again, it's set medically. It's supposed to be bleak. It's supposed to be clinical. So I actually liked it better than I watched it the first time round, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I will mention that. The Terminal Man. Interesting film. Bit sort of like watching Phase 4 again, if you haven't seen that.
Oh, yeah, Phase 4. Wow. Like yeah.
So, but Terminal Man, it's got a lot of things. It's about, a person having electroshock things to stop him.
Yeah.
So, from that point of view, he sort of gets addicted, doesn't he, to having that type of treatment. Gives him a superpower of a sort, but it's not that type of film, super guy type of film. It's actually a bit more thought-provoking. But anyway, I'm going to let you carry on. Sorry.
Okay. This Greenland, the first one 2020, and then Greenland 2 Migration 2026. Now I know when we were just before we started, you thought Greenland 2 wasn't as good. It was a bit of a slip in quality. I found it as enjoyable. I quite enjoyed it. I see where you're coming from about it, but
the actual thing I said was I enjoyed it, but it's nowhere near as good as the first one, and it seemed to be a sequel that didn't need to be made.
Yeah,
it was sort of like going. It's sort of like we're going to go from one place to the other to get to our ultimate destination, and all the things that happened in between, which I've seen a million times before. Where the first one had a bit more. It wasn't quite that get to A to B nonsense. It had a little bit more thought-provoking things.
I must admit, I like these bunker films where they go on the ground for so many years. You can't help but love a good bunker film and how life goes and how it changes. But I was surprised. I really got on board with these films. I just thoroughly enjoyed it.
They've just been announced as being released for 4K, and I definitely will be getting them because I definitely enjoyed them. It's just that the second one, I just thought, you can tell it's a bit lackluster.
Is it Steelbook though?
Don't know. It doesn't matter. I think what will happen is they've announced that Greenland is coming out on 4K, and the film came out in 2020, so it's about time. Greenland 2 is a no-brainer because it's just come out of the cinema.
Yeah.
Right. I'm hoping what they'll do is if they don't bring them out as steelbooks, they'll do a double pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Where you can buy both together with a sort of like a slipcase.
I think I might wait on them. We'll see. Because I bet they don't put a Blu-ray disc in.
No.
They don't nowadays. I'd like it released on Blu-ray because it's so much cheaper. But I can wait. They'll come out. I think they will get a Blu-ray release. So that's what I'll wait for. I definitely, I just think I just enjoyed it because sometimes you watch these films and you don't get as emotionally involved with characters. But this, I felt I did. Maybe that's his performance, Gerard Butler's performance. He was that good in it. And of course, the ending, I won't give away the ending.
No, no.
is quite a powerful ending, isn't it? I know
Yes,
you
it is.
think that. I think that ending is really powerful, absolutely powerful. But yeah, I really like that. And then I watched today. You sent me the first two episodes
Oh yeah.
of Lord of the Flies. Now, what interested me in this was you probably you might know about it, that this is another one that's been developed by Jack Thorne. Now
Yeah.
Jack Thorne is on the up, and a lot of people are hoping, but I don't know whether it'll happen. I've seen it come up now on
Yeah, he
internet.
did.
He
He
could
did.
be the new
Did he
Doctor
do?
Who showrunner.
Did he do Adolescence? Did it
Sorry,
say?
yeah, he did Adolescence.
He did Adolescence. Yeah.
Yeah, he would. He's been, whether he'd do it, I don't know. But a lot of people say, wouldn't he be a good replacement for
Showrunner,
Russell
yeah.
T Davies? But whether he'd do it, I don't know. He may not do, but he'd be great as a showrunner for Doctor
I
Who.
think when they were deliberating him, they said he'd be good, but he doesn't know Doctor Who.
But
Where there's another person that they're saying that's head of something at BBC.
Yeah,
that's also up for the running for it, and he knows.
Want somebody totally not in Russell T Davies's.
Well, I'm agreeing with you on that, and I'll tell you why. When Doctor Who was first coming out, who knew about Doctor Who? None of them.
Yeah.
So, do you have to know? Why can't you come in with, some? Why can't you just give somebody sort of like a 10-page sketch outline of what Doctor Who is to somebody and say, now run with it? Don't need to know about all the lore, right?
No.
Here's a 10-page. Right, he comes from here. We know this about him, that about him. He goes around in a box. He's had these companions, blah, blah, blah. That's it. You don't need to know anything else. Go and write something.
He's quality, but he may not. It may just not be something he wants to do.
I'll tell you what, that gig is a pretty difficult gig, because if you remember rightly, who was it? Moffat. He was doing that and Sherlock Holmes at the same time. He's burnt out. Yeah. I'm burnt out. I can't. The Doctor Who takes up 7-8 months of my time. Then I've got about 3 or 4 months to do this.
You have to be totally committed.
So this guy would be like, stop everything you're doing, and you're stuck with this now for 8 months.
Yeah, but they need to pick somebody like him, because he's got no agenda. He hasn't got any of this rubbish.
Shit. I'll see you all later.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, that just struck me about this series, Lord of the Flies, which is it's one we did at school. I don't know if we did the book at school, and there was an original one before that. I remember we watched that, and it's actually quite a sort of one of those stories which you can easily transfer into sort of today. I notice again with this that they're all sort of from a more public school background. That's what it is. That these lot of kids that are stranded on there, and the story is good in terms of how the idea about what is civilized and what happens when we lose what we consider being civilized and go back into having to survive. And does that change? It's like hunting, people having to survive on hunting and all that sort of stuff. And it gets quite philosophical in many ways about, what makes us human, which side of human. And these kids are really enacting all that out, and it's very good. I really enjoyed it. Anyhow, there's 2 more episodes, so I look forward to watching them. And then I'll show you what I've watched physically. Now, Delboy said on his blog he couldn't think of many zombie films. And he said there's a lot of them, but he couldn't. He was trying to name one, and I immediately thought one of my favorite zombie films was done by Hammer, and it's this one. It's Plague of the Zombies from 1966, and this actually was a double feature. They got some money at Hammer to do these two double features, and this one was with the one that they wanted to really push was Dracula Prince of Darkness 1966, which was Christopher Lee revamping Dracula again. You know, it was a big success at first, Dracula. Then they did another one which wasn't so good, and then we've got this one, Dracula Prince of Darkness, with Christopher Lee back in his full pomp and what have you, been Dracula. Yeah, so that was this, and this also the other double bill. They had some money. Was they did Rasputin was the main film, but the other they put with it was The Reptile, which we'll see. We've got some links with that. So those four films were out in 1966. So this is directed by John Gilling, who directed Reptile. So there was a lot of work done getting all these films out at a particular time. And then he also directed The Mummy Shroud, which is 1967. Now, this film stars Andre Morel. Andre Morel, what an actor! Some of the films that he was in, but he came to prominence in many ways with his TV role. He was in Quatermass and the Pit, which was a BBC sci-fi series, 1958 to 59, which was quite groundbreaking. It was a massively groundbreaking series, absolutely wonderful. And Andre Morel, now, he was in The Bridge of River Kwai, but he was in one of my favorites, which is The Hound of the Baskervilles with Peter Cushing. And he played Dr. Watson. I mean, that version is one of the best. Absolutely love The Hound of the Baskervilles. He also was in Ben-Hur. I mean, crikey. Oh, I'm in Ben-Hur. Wow. What films are we in? He was in She. You've got to love She. Ursula Andress. Then he was in The Mummy Shroud. So there you are. Mummy Shroud, another Hammer one. And then, of course, a film that I think is absolutely fantastic. He always gets a mention. 10 Rillington Place, 1971. Where, what can I say? Oh, that is such a brilliant film. Richard Attenborough, say no more. And he was in Barry Lyndon, which is an absolute masterpiece as well. Barry Lyndon, not Gary Lyndon. Gary Linux playing Barry Lyndon. Yeah, Barry Lyndon, 1975. I love that. So that's Andre Morel. And then we had Diane Clare. Now, she was in Whistle Down the Wind, which was a very good Haley Mills film. She was in The Haunting. She was in The Vulture. The Haunting's 1963. She was in The Vulture, 1967. And The Hand of Night, 1968. And then she retired from acting. And people forget that. Sometimes they stop making films and then just life changes and they just think, oh, I'll retire. So they retired. Now, the other one that I'd like to mention is Brooke Williams. Brooke Williams, wow. He was in Where Eagles Dare, 1968, which I love. Anne of the Thousand Days, 1969. The Medusa Touch, 1978, and The Wild Geese, 1978. Have you noticed a certain actor who's connected with all those? Richard Burton. Richard Burton's all connected. Oh, and we've got North Sea Hijack, 1980, and The Seawolves, 1980. Wow, fantastic! What a lot of films. That's Brooke Williams, and I've got to mention her. She's a young actress in this. Is Jacqueline Pierce. Jacqueline Pierce has said she did. She was in The Reptile, and she's a young Jacqueline Pierce, and of course she goes on to be so well known in Blake Seven as Servalan. But this is, I think, this even could be a debut. I think. She may have had some roles earlier, but very, very small roles. But she's really good. She's very good. Really, really enjoyed watching her. And then the next film I've got is this one is let's see, not this one. Sorry, there we are. Chaser. This is a South Korean film, and it's a sort of action thriller, I'd say, but it's quite horrific in its violence. It doesn't shy away from that, so it is very violent and quite sort of, the violence is is graphic. Now it's directed by somebody called, you'll love my interpretations, Na Hong Jin. Yeah, and this is his debut, and he directed The Yellow Sea 2010, The Whale in 2016, and a film this year called Hope. So that's the director. Now this stars, I'm just going to give you a few names, but I'm not going to be very good here. Kim Yoon Suk, he plays this sort of pimp who's a bit dishonest, a bit shady, and was a sort of former police detective, which is quite important in the film. And then we've got the serial killer, and that's played by Ha Jung-woo. So that's serial killer. And then I've got to mention this. There's a child actress in it. And she is absolutely fantastic. She's not annoying. Sometimes they can be annoying. Her name was Kim Yoo-jung. Anyhow, she's really good. Now, this film is inspired by a real life serial killer called Yoo Young-chul. And there has been, I think, other things done about this particular serial killer. And what I think makes this film so interesting is it has a real element of realism to it. You feel it's very real. It's also very brutal, I say, and it's disturbing. It is disturbing. This serial killer is, oh wow, he is brutal. He is horrible. He's evil. That's the way to describe it. But this film, it puts you right in there. You're on your edge of your seats watching this film and wondering what is happening and what is going on. The police are getting a lot of stick for not getting this killer. And this former detective who is involved, as I say, as a pimp, believe it or not, finds that his girls are getting murdered. Yes, in a very brutal fashion. So in a way that brings him into this kind of situation of finding out who is actually doing it. But I thought this is great. I was just so in it, and it surprised me. It was a first time watch as well. I've not seen this before, and again, it made me think. South Korean cinema, it does offer such a lot of great things. We've seen some more great films, like in the horror films and crime films. And this is, as I say, it's a crime thriller, but it is very horrific. That's why I say it's got the horror element in there. I thought this was disturbing, like brilliantly done, and you was really on board with it. You know how you get into a film, and I was wondering how this was going to develop. I really did. I just thought that was fantastic. I'm really pleased I watched this. There's some more good ones that I have watched of these Korean films, both sort of crime films as well as horror films as well. But this is excellent. And then the next one, I haven't watched as much on here physically, my physical media collection, but this is sort of my last one. Again, this is an interesting film. It's Agatha Christie story, Endless Night. Now, it's not the sort of conventional Agatha Christie kind of story where you've got a detective, Poirot or Marple. You haven't got all that sort of stuff. As I say, this is from 1972, and it's directed by Sidney Gilliat, who films are State Secret, 1950, Left, Right, and Centre, 1959. Only Two Can Play, 1962. And The Great St. Trinian's Train Robbery, 1966. Didn't make a great deal of feature films, but did a lot of TV as well. And, as is often the way, they're going to doing a lot of TV at the time. Now, this stars Hayley Mills. We have mentioned Hayley Mills before. Her career was interesting. She was famous, I think, in Tiger Bay as a child actress. She's a child actress who went to Disney, and she did Pollyanna, 1960. That was That Darn Cat. I remember that film. 1965. The Family Way, 1966. Twisted Nerve. That's 1968. Deadly Strangers, 1975. Some really, really good films there. And then she was in Last Train to Christmas, 2024. But this is a film that I absolutely loved. Again, not everybody's cup of tea. It's M. Night Shyamalan or whatever it is. She was in Trap, which was in 2024. And I love Trap. Trap's a really underrated film, I think. Not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought it was great, Trap. Absolutely. And she's in that. So she's had a massive career when you think, as a child actress going right back to 1959. And then she's still working. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, what a career. And of course, she's John Mills' daughter. And wow, wonderful John Mills. John Mills is royalty, to use Delboy's phrase. I've heard him say that, royalty. As an actor, he's up there with Richard Attenborough. And his daughter. And she's a very attractive woman as well. She's a very attractive one. Yeah. What more can I say about her? And then this film also has Owl Bennett. Now, his film career is not as big. It's not as much. He's in Loot, which is an interesting film from 1970. The Family Way, 1966, that one. And those sex comedies that did in there was a British sex comedy period. It was in Percy, and they did another one, Percy's Progress, 1971. But as he's in a series that I never watched, but was very popular. I don't know, not everybody. I don't know what people's opinions on it. But he was in this series, comedy series, called Shelley, between 1979 and 1992. It's quite a long time, but I've never seen that. I don't know anything about it, but it had a long run. Whether it's any good, I don't know. But there we are. And then I've got to mention as well, we have Britt Eklund in this. Britt Eklund, oh wow. Now she was in Stiletto 1969, but of course she was in Get Carter. Easily to forget that she was in Get Carter, but she's in Get Carter. Fantastic. And then I think the performance we all sort of remember is The Wicker Man. She was in The Wicker Man 1973, which is one of the all-time great folk horror films. You know, it's the film, isn't it? And if you're a Bond fan, who isn't? She was in a Roger Moore film, The Man with the Golden Gun, 1974, which has Christopher Lee as the villain, who is very underused, unfortunately. That lets the film down, I think. We don't get enough Christopher Lee in that film. The content, it's not one of the best, but she's in that anyhow. So that's good. So what is this film about? This Agatha Christie that's not there either. Well, this he's like a chauffeur driver. He does sort of odd job kind of thing, but that's his main thing that he does. And he's got this interest in antiques. He's really interested in that. And that's what I think his ambition is, to have a shop. Now, he ends up being involved with this rich woman played by Hayley Mills. And she ends up marrying him. And so he can open his antique shop, and he gets his own antique shop. And they also build their dream home. There's this architect who's got all these wonderful fancy ideas about building, and he can build this dream home on the beautiful area that he actually loves. Al Bennett's character, he really loves this area in the country, and it's his dream, and now he can get it by marrying her and living in this home. And this girl is friends, very, very close friends with Brett Eklund's character. And so Hayley Mills and Brett Eklund, they look absolutely fantastic friends together. But not everybody's that pleased at all with him being there when they get married, and they think there's something not right about him. I think they kind of think, how dare he come along and do this, you know? And so in a way, Agatha Christie, a typical Agatha Christie, is Agatha Christie. As you've got various characters who basically don't like him. They think he's suspect, very suspect, and they wish, you know, he would disappear. And ultimately what happens is there's an accident. Or is it an accident? You see, it's an Agatha Christie story. In which, of course, Hayley Mills' character dies, and of course, the will that is made, he will inherit it, all this, and that's it. But there's quite a big twist in there. Something I didn't see. I should have seen it. It's an important twist in it, but then you think you've got there, but then there's another twist again in the ending, which I really liked, absolutely liked. Now, you remember earlier Peter Bowles? I think was mentioned somewhere along the line. I know Peter Bowles. Well, Peter Bowles is in this. He pops up, and there we are. He's a bit of a shady character in it. Not a big role, but he's quite shady, sort of in it. But a lot of people are shady, and this is just such an enjoyable film for an Agatha Christie film. I'd not heard of it before. This was a first time watch for me. And I thought, well, this is really good. Highly recommended. Yeah, it's different. I liked it. I think the twist is great. Absolutely, wonderful twist. So I think that's it, and we'll get on with the comments. So let's go right up there. So we've got Sai saying evening gang, and then we've got Frank saying hello people, and then Sai saying hi Frank, and then Frank saying hi Sai. Yes, I got rid of that user, Frank. I blocked them. They looked a bit dodgy, to put it mildly. I think it's one that pops up every week. The idiots, they're just stupid. They can't, what more can I say about them? And then Tony says, evening, Ian, Dell, and chat. And then Si says, hi, Tony. And then Frank Holder says, hi, Tony. And then I've banned the person there. And then we've got Tony saying, hi, Si and Frank. And then we've got Jungle 5 Menus saying, evening, gentlemen. What's all this about then? Oh, it's somebody that just came in, causing trouble. Then we've got James Van Bell died. And then yeah, that's recent, isn't it? Recent news. And then Tony says, I have those House of Mystery on German DVD. UK ones are long out print. Yeah, I was very fortunate to get them, I think. Not as keen on them as the earlier House of Horror. Check out the German release, Del. I think they may be the cheapest. I think you're right, actually. But I think some of the stories are quite good in it. I think that is the one with Susan George, and she gets married. She's the wife, isn't she, of this diplomat, and she ends up in East Germany because it's the Cold War time, and it's a great story. She checks in the hotel, and she's waiting for her husband, and of course, nobody knows who she is. Her husband can't be traced, she finds out, and she's got a hell of a job trying to convince everybody that she's legitimately in this hotel, as I remember. That's one of the stories. And then there's another one with David Carradine, which I remember, which was quite good. And he keeps seeing this figure, which is himself. He keeps seeing himself, and it's rather clever. I like that. And then we've got Van Beek died, yeah. And then we've got, if Humphrey Bogart returned, who would he play? I don't know. If Humphrey Bogart returned, who would he play? I'm trying to think of that sort of kind of private eye person. We don't really have many of those in modern cinema, do we? The thing is about Bogart, his type of film is not made nowadays. He wouldn't fit in as well. The important thing was he wouldn't be able. Imagine him smoking away. He can't smoke. He wouldn't be able to act. He wouldn't be able to get anywhere without. He wouldn't be allowed on set. I mean, he was addicted. I mean, it killed him. It killed him. He really was absolutely addicted to smoking. He I don't know. Even though he knew he had lung cancer, um, he was still smoking. He couldn't stop, um, and so he wouldn't fit in. And I say the private eye kind of films, though, are just not there, are they? And he was never an action kind of actor, was it? Even if he in his acting roles, even his gangstery roles, he's not sort of an action kind of figure, is he? Um, and those films are just sadly not made. But who knows? They could come back, in some form or other. I mean, you look on the TV. I mean, I don't watch TV that much, but the impression I get is kind of characters are just not the kind of characters that are even on TV anymore. You wouldn't have that kind of detective. You do have quirky detectives, don't you? And people like that. But it's all modern. Bogart doesn't fit into our era. So I don't think he could. I don't think that's possible. I don't think he would fit into any film in the modern era. He's of his time. Yeah. And then I could tell you something about Scott and the Antarctic film. It's a brilliant film. It's John Mills. Is it John Mills in Scott and the Antarctic? It's a brilliant film. I just remember it so well. It's a typical British film of that era, celebrating heroic failure. We were often like that. We love praising our heroes, and even in failure, we create sort of heroes within that era. And Scott the Antarctic is brilliant. It's a great film. It's one that I remember seeing on TV a lot as a child. In fact, I'd love to see it again, actually. Sort of film I would enjoy probably watching. It's probably available as well. I might get it sometime. It might. I think actually it might be in those classic, the classic vintage classic series. I think it is in there, isn't it? That's because he mentioned it. Yes. Yeah, I would definitely get that in the future. I think. Yeah. And then we have got Jamie saying, always complimentaries, Jamie. Good evening, Dipsy and Tinky Winky. Well, thank you so much. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Right. Delian, what sci-fi film do you find totally laughable and ridiculous? I'll open with Battle Beyond the Stars. Well, thanks, Frank. I always think the most ridiculous sci-fi film. It's just ridiculous. It's ludicrous. You probably know what I'm going to say. It. Sean Connery, Zardoz. It is just awful, and him wandering around like that in a nappy or whatever it is. It is the most ridiculous film, and the story of the film, everything about it is just awful. It truly is. It's so bad. It's almost unwatchable, but you're so fascinated by how bad it is that you end up watching it. But it is. It's chronic. I wouldn't buy it or have it in my collection, but it is. I mean, Sean Connery, what's he doing? What made him? He must have read the script. He must have had an idea, talked with the directors and designers and everybody. He must have. I mean, perhaps he needed the work, or perhaps he thought, oh, well, this is a different, innovative role for me. But, what on earth was he doing? It's an unbelievably just so bad that you wonder why it ever got made. But you could say that about quite a few films. You can actually point out and think, why did they get made? I don't know, but they do. somebody thinks, oh, I've got lots of money. Producers, it's producers that get a film together and think, oh, yeah, we'll do this. And, we'll get Sean Connery. Offer him a pile of money. He'll accept it. And Connery did. Yeah. And some actors are not always that fussy. They'll take anything. Hello, Michael Caine. I love Michael Caine. I think Michael Caine is one of the greatest actors. But he admitted he'd take anything. Doesn't matter. It's the money. Do his lines and he's off. He's not going to spend months worrying about doing method acting and all that sort of stuff. Get into a role, delivers his lines, and off he goes. And that's why I love Michael Caine. Down to earth, straight away, he can play anything. And he's that good. And he knows he can make crap films. But it doesn't matter. He's making the money. And that good on him. That's what I say. But Sean Connery, I just think, what on earth was he doing? That's the one that stands out for me. I mean, there are bad sci. Obviously, is it Plan 9 from Outer Space is considered one of the worst films ever, and that's supposedly a sci-fi film, and now that is virtually unwatchable, even though it's so bad that it makes you cringe of how bad it is. Yeah, that Plan 9 from Outer Space, I think that is just, it's really bad. It's unbelievably bad. But there we are. And then we've got Jamie saying, good evening, chat. Good evening, Jamie. And then we've got Sai saying, hi, McMahon. And then we're always making plans. Are we? Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes we make plans, sometimes we don't. Sometimes just let it flow and see what happens. And then Tony says, hi, Jamie. Oh, you've gone V for Vendetta. Aha. Yes. Interesting film, that one. You could talk a lot about that one. And then thoughts on McDonald's Friends TV series, Toy Adult Happy Meal. I don't know that story. I have no idea on that story. I mean, if it's a Happy Meal, it wouldn't have adult toys, would it? I don't know. I don't know that story, but it just seems crazy. And then, here we are. Yeah, Jamie says, I love Battle Beyond the Stars. It's a cheesy sci-fi film inspired by Akira Kurosawa's, I said it, Seven Samurai. Yes, yeah, that's true, yeah. And then Steelbacks are for idiots and middle-class fools. I don't agree with that at all. Steelbook, I'm not a Steelbook fan. I don't buy them. But people buy them because they love the look of them. They enjoy them. And, they see them as like a work of art. And that's fine. It's too expensive for me. I'm more interested just getting the basic packaging. Occasionally, I might get something special. But I have got a few Steelbooks. Not many, but I have got a few. But, yeah, people love them. And they collect them, and good luck to them. That's what I say. Yeah, that's my view. Do whatever you want, with collecting. I never put any rules on that, never. There's no rules to collecting. People think there is. There isn't. You collect what you want, how you want it, and do what you want. That's it. It's quite simple. Everybody has their own tastes. It has their own thing. And Tony says, good to see vintage classics there, Del. Great range. Yeah, fantastic range. Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to getting more of them in my collection when I get when I get my money. When I get my money, ah, yes, I definitely want to be getting some of those. Fool and money? No, money's not foolish. Oh dear. Oh, is the retro zone in a basement? Oh dear. You know what? You guys are all right. Of course, we're all right. We're brilliant. Those toys on the line, yeah, they're nice. Yeah. Very sad about James Van der Beek. Sorry, only 48 years old. I know 48 is just, it's too young. It is too young. 48. Life, there's so much to look forward to in life. At 48, there's lots of life ahead. And to go that early, what can I say? That is just too much. I like your walls and lovely paintwork. Well, thank you. I think they're trying a more sophisticated approach tonight. I think I know what you mean there. Yes. Yeah. Loving the shells. What films or books on there? There's also it's all a lot of Doctor Who books, and then just right at the top there's about three Arrow ones. My favourite films: Life Force, Dune '84, and Children of the Corn box set. That's it. Thoughts on Sam Raimi's filmography? He's got a very varied filmography, and I think it's absolutely wonderful to see that varied filmography. You've got, I immediately think of, Delboy's favourite films, which is Spider-Man. Some great films of Spider-Man. Let's see, The Evil Dead, of course. That's brilliant. 1981. Oh yeah, this one is. I'm cheating. I'll be honest. I'm cheating. I'm looking at my mobile phone. I don't care because I'm not very good at remembering. But Drag Me to Hell. That's a great film. I love Drag Me to Hell, and I love the way it ends. The ending is absolutely fantastic. Army of Darkness. A lot of people really love Army of Darkness. Me, I'm not that keen. I'm not actually a massive fan of Evil Dead series. I know that's blasphemy. I have got them in my collection, and I appreciate them a lot. I don't find them that rewatchable. I can watch them again, but Army of Darkness, I think a lot of people overrate it. I think. I know it's supposedly comedic and what have you. For me, if you're going to make comedic horror sort of kind of thing, the best is like Shaun of the Dead or something like that, that's proper stuff. Proper. I love that kind of thing. Yeah, Evil Dead 2. He did that one. I was just looking here. What else? This one's a good one. I haven't got it, but I've seen it, which is The Quick and the Dead. And that's got, is it Gene Hackman in that one? And Sharon Stone? I think that's a good one. It's a Western, isn't it? Evil Dead Rise. I'll be honest, Evil Dead Rise, I was bored with it. I think it's overrated. A lot of people absolutely went mad about Evil Dead Rise. I got so fed up with it in the end. I just thought, we've seen all this before. Not particularly good. I was getting bored with it. Absolutely boring me to death. Not a good thing. Let's see. Crawl. I've not heard of Crawl. That sounds interesting. And he did I presume he did the American version of The Grudge. Is it the Japanese version is much better, isn't it? On that. Don't Breathe, 2016. I think that's okay. So 65. That's a sort of sci-fi kind of film, isn't it? Is he stuck on this planet? It's okay. It's it's not world shattering, but it's enjoyable. Oh, is that the original Poltergeist? Or is that the remake? Oh, I think it's the remake. Oh, I no, the remake was absolutely awful. What on earth was he doing directing that? Poltergeist. Oh, what a it's why why do that film? As I suspect people say, why did he do The Grudges? Now, when he was good, he did Maniac Cop. Maniac Cop's good. That's original. That's 1988. He did. Oh, the Flintstones. Ah, I didn't know he did the Flintstones. That's all right. The sort of live action Flintstones. Oh, Spies Like Us comedy, did that one. And then we did a live action version of The Jungle Book, which I've not seen, but I had no interest. I love the original animated Jungle Book. I think it's a great film. I know there's issues people say nowadays and all that rubbish. It's just a good Disney film. I did Maniac Cop 2, which is absolutely fantastic. So there's some of the Sam Raimi films. Say the Spider-Man films, I enjoy them all. I know number 3 is not considered as good. I think Delboy said there was too many villains or something in it. But I enjoyed it, and I'm not know as much about Spider-Man, but I just like Spider-Man. I just like the idea, I've liked all the other ones. I like the Amazing. Is it Amazing Spider-Man that did 2 of them? And then even the younger one, I know Delboy probably doesn't really like him, Tom Holland, but I don't mind him. The only thing I would say is once you've got the origin story of Spider-Man, you don't need to keep repeating the origin story. I think people know about it, but there we are. And then Jungle says, I'm off and watch later. I need food. Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you anyhow for joining us. Thank you so much. Anyone seen the Florida Project? I've heard this mentioned. Just watched it tonight. It had a lot of critical acclaim. It's by the same director who directed Honora, which is a really well thought of film. I've heard people mention the Florida Project, but I've not seen it. Honora, I love Honora, absolutely. So if it's as good as Honora, then the Florida Project will be good. I have seen people showing it. Have you heard of the Florida Project?
Heard of it, never seen it.
Yeah. Honora.
Honora I liked, and I've got the steel book of that.
Yeah, Honora's really enjoyed Honora. Absolutely wonderful. And then we've got Jamie saying, I love Greenland. There's a very anxiety-inducing scene involving an old couple taking a child. It does have that anxiety factor. I totally agree with you there. That is very true. It is anxiety-inducing. And then, so I've always wanted to watch Florida Project. I've heard that William Dafoe is really good in it. Oh,
yeah, Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, good actor. Willem.
Well, in my blog, I think it was Bob Art said he'd just watched The Lighthouse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's got Willem Dafoe in it. And he said he didn't know quite whether he liked it or not. He found it enjoyable, but he came away not knowing whether he liked it or not. And I had to watch that film twice. I have to say, I
think you're right.
It's a very bleak film. It's about going into madness.
Extremely bleak. Yeah,
all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm well aware of those concepts and stuff. Experiencing loneliness myself, and
not everybody got on with it, did they?
No, black and white, not widescreen, standard sort of like.
Yeah,
but I go past those short sure. I think I don't know if I don't know. I'll put it out there. I think it's something to do with age. I don't have a problem with things not being widescreen, 4:3 ratio, black and white, mono sound. I don't give a shit. It's about whether I'm entertained in the film, whether the story is good, all of that sort of stuff. So I didn't have a problem.
No.
It was just the subject matter was very bleak. There's not a lot of talking in it. There's not supposed to be. And it sort of it came out the blue for me. I don't know about anybody else. It came out the blue for me. And I know that Willem Dafoe, because I mentioned it as well some time back, that GQ did a breakdown of his iconic roles, and he talked quite, very, very strictly about the concepts of that film and why he enjoyed doing that film and the reason why he chose it. And all of that sort of stuff. And when you listen to him talk about it, you go, "Oh yeah, right, yeah, I understand a little bit." So many people will sort of like look at something and go, "Well, how did they choose that film? Did they read the script?" Because I don't think they got it what it was. And a lot of people, a lot of actors out there are choosing because it's presented to them, or doing it as a favor, or I always wanted to work with that director, and all of those same sort of things. It's a totally different thing with that particular film. I think he chooses quite wisely his films. He doesn't necessarily need to do 3 a year. He just goes, "Oh no, I fancy doing that."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish other people were a bit choosier, because then we wouldn't have so much dross. You know what I mean? If so many people turned it down and said, "I ain't doing that crap." Well, it's the paycheck at the end of the day, and they want to, try and it's sort of, I get it,
I'll tell you what, something interesting I discovered this week about myself in a way, is that somebody was putting up, what are your top 10 films of the 21st century? So basically from year 2000 to now. And they put up 10 films, and one of them actually was a film called Donnie Darko, which is quite a controversial film. There's
early 2000s film.
But I thought, I'll have a think about the kind of films that I would put up, and I couldn't do 10. I love films so much. In those 25 years, there's been some great films that I think people may have forgotten about, because we always assume, I'm like this, I always say the best films are how they used to be, the old, going back classics into 20th century. But there has been some really good films. If you start to look and examine what has been produced in these 25 years, now into 26 year, there's been some great films. And I thought, well, I can't do 10. I hate that in a way. Well, it's not hating. It shows you that how good film is still creative and strong. I could not pick 10 films.
I've shied away a little bit from that question, and I'll explain why. I moved back from Manchester to home 2005, and I know the films I was watching 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, all of that sort of stuff. But when I came back, I had sciatica. I couldn't go to the pictures. So it literally was what was on Sky and that sort of stuff. And I got big into films again around about 2018. And I could tell you now, if somebody was to ask me films between 2005 and 2016, 17, I've got a bloody great big black hole.
Exactly. I found myself.
And so when people say name 10 films, I'd probably be naming films right at the beginning of the 2000s and what I've seen in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of the other one.
And I'm still saying that we're still making good films. I mean, the latest one that I would put in the list is The Life of Chuck. I love The Life of Chuck. So I mean, we're still creating great movies, and in those 20 into 26 years now, I have a hell of a job. I started writing them down. I thought, oh my god, I've got at least, I could just more and more.
Somebody's just posed a question on YouTube.
Yeah,
It came up this afternoon, and it says you can only save one film. This is what it was. You can only save one film from every decade, 1970 to now. Go. Right, and I'm going, shit.
You can't do that. No.
But it's interesting because I show that as being a YouTube channel that has run out of ideas. Right?
Yeah,
it's a question that crops up in how many film chat films, like, oh, your house is on fire, what are you going to sell?
Yeah. And
seen
one for every decade.
Seen it, heard it, been there, wore the t-shirt, and I've tried to answer it as best as I can. I hate it, right? But it's interesting. It's interesting
you're
because
right.
what I'm trying to say is I can name films in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. When it gets 60s? To 2010 to 2020, I'll be going, like this. Not sure.
Yeah.
And it's not because, and it's like you, it's not because there isn't good films. It's just I ain't seen many of them.
There's just loads.
Still catching up with it.
Yeah, and then of course, if you start to extend your interest, like I'm interested in world cinema, and if you start to include world cinema, you're getting even bigger and bigger. I could just do French films. There's a whole stack of them that I think are absolutely brilliant. And what can you? You can't. It's an impossible task. But as you say, when you're running out of ideas and you want to get your YouTube channel views up, then this seems, I think, for a quick fix. I'll just do 10. It's impossible to do 10. I think. If you really love films and are passionate about films, you can't, because you think, I can't include that.
I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass or anything, but I much prefer a channel like yours that says, right, I'm doing a review of every single Star Trek episode from 1 to 79. I'd rather have somebody say, right, I've got SFX magazine in front of me. Let's see what the latest stuff that's being read out and talked about in there, because that fills me with the stuff that's coming out shortly.
That's right.
Then let's go back to X-Files and look at that. And then this is what I've watched. And I'm going, right, bloody hell, there's some stuff there I've never even heard of. All of that. I need to have a channel a bit like Jamie and a bit like you.
Yeah, I like Jamie.
That basically gives me something new. I can't stand this. It's old treading over old ground stuff. And it's probably because I'm getting codgety and old. Fed up.
I like things because I am set in my ways. There's no doubt about it. I am very set in my ways. But when it comes to film, I feel quite open, and I'll watch anything. Seriously, I'll probably watch anything. And maybe I say that, and I'm just thinking, well, I wouldn't be watching a rom-com or something like that. Probably, I wouldn't really. But mind you, if the quality, if people have said, oh, actually, this rom-com is a bit more better than your average rom-com, then I might watch it. I'm not closed. I don't think you've got to be closed. You've got to be open to anything, really. Apart from, it's like people also listing. I mean, I've done it as well, thought about it. As you think, what are the films that you wouldn't want to watch, which are so awful and disgusting? But we know all those films. We know the film. So you're not going to. I saw another one. I thought, oh, somebody's doing it again. I bet you. And I named all the films, and there they were. They were all on there. It's just repeating. Well, everybody knows what films are really awful and bad. That you don't want ever to watch again. It's YouTube. It's content creation. That's what it's about. And we forget. I think there's also, I've been on YouTube now a few years, and also your age. But I forget that people are coming up that have not seen these things, and they must think it's a new idea. So I suppose you got to think in that context. Younger people perhaps don't think it's new.
Oh, yeah,
that's
very it's very difficult to cover an age range of 20 to now,
Yeah.
like in our 60s or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because they're different generations in there. I
Yeah.
mean, how many generations are there between 20?
Well, if I look at
two generations,
have you looked at your channel analytics? Sometimes I have, and at the age I watch, what are the most people that are watching my channel, and they're all old, 50s, 60s, year olds, some 40-year-olds. The amount of say 20 or 30-year-olds is pretty low. It's I'm not going to get that. It's just the way it is. Anyhow, I could go on with it. Yeah, he's good. The little girl is fantastic, though. That's in this Florida project, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. And then I've only seen Honora from that director. I also want to see Red Rocket. It's supposedly really good. Yeah, it's put there really good. Yeah, Red Rocket. I have heard of that one as well. And Si says, "What the fuck happened there?" Oh, I don't know. And then I have Red Rocket, but not watched it yet. We'll get it sooner rather than later now. Okay. Your watch pile, I suspect, is pretty big, Jamie. It's all massive.
Not as big as mine.
Yeah.
I haven't opened around about 200 of mine.
Yeah, I know you've got a massive one as well, aren't you? All those ones, but not as it's slowing down. It must be because you don't get by as much now. So
yeah,
it must be getting a bit.
I'm having a lot of fun for the ones that I'm opening up.
Yeah, well, that's good. To me, there's nothing more satisfying than ripping off the cellophane of a brand new thing. I absolutely love just ripping it off, and there's these people there fiddling about. Get it all ripped off. Yeah. James says, watch The Curse of Frankenstein on Sunday. It was decent, but it's no universal Frankenstein call-off. Peter Cushing is excellent, though, as expected. Well, they had copy. They couldn't do the universal Frankenstein. No. They were limited. I thought they did a good job. They had to make their own monster up.
It's actually in the booklets and in the documentaries that are in that set of yours, Jamie. You'll see that they had to do a different stance. They had problems with the censors.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things. Yeah.
Then there was the fact it was in color, not in black and white, so they had that as a hurdle.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff in that because you couldn't have Karloff's makeup because it was bloody green. That's because it needed to be a slightly weird grey when it was shot in black and white. You see, so there's a totally different. There's a different way of cinematography in it as well. There's a modern telling of it, if you see what I mean. So I would have said that it's as much a hurdle for them now as it would be, back then. I would have said, with the way life is and the way cinema is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's right, yeah. But you've also, as I always say to people, always remember that Hammer are on very low budget and they do a tremendous job and the directors who were involved in these films.
They were a little bit like Peter Thomas, weren't they? With the Carry On films with budget thing. Yeah. It was like, oh no, we got a film within 300 yards of the cinema. And
that's right. I think it's Bray Studios. I think the earlier Hammer stuff are on, and that's all they had. They had to use other people's sets sometimes. If somebody had put a set up, and that's what the Carry On films did, like that famous one, isn't it, with Cleopatra?
Carry On
Cleo.
They had buggered off to another country, and they decided to nick all their costumes.
Well, thanks
very much.
Quite right. And the thing is, that is a well thought of film. They did a good job, didn't they?
It's the one that they say is the one that they say is best looking.
Yeah, it does. It looks great. But Hammer had good directors. Like I always say, mention him, Terence Fisher, who were just expert at doing all this under the conditions that they were given, and they look better and bigger than they should be. They're just amazing, absolutely amazing films. People forget it's great films. The Doctor Who showrunner job is more of a poison challenge than the top. Oh yeah, they sacked their manager.
They sacked their manager. Yeah.
Yes, I like that. I like that. Yeah.
That's very topical. Well done, Si, you bastard.
Jamie agrees. Plague of the Zombies is one of my favorite Hammer films. I go back to it and think, wow, this is just such a good film. Everything about it is just wonderful, and it's in color as well. Which in some ways I look at it and think, I wonder what it would have looked like in black and white. It might have looked even better in black and white. But it's garish, but it's superb, and the acting, as I said, the acting is fantastic, and the cinematography, everything about it is fantastic. And then, crikey, he's agreeing with me again. Chaser is bloody great. I'm sure I recommend that one to you, Ian. Well, I found it in my collection. I was just rooting about, and I was so pleased. It's great. More films like that I'd love to watch. South Korean film, absolutely wonderful. It kept me really on edge, and involved. Can't beat it. I'd recommend both Yellow Sea, because I mentioned them, and The Wailing, if you haven't seen them. Yellow Sea is a relentless one. It gets going very stabby. That's it. A lot of stabbing. Yeah. I Saw the Devil is my favorite Korean film. Yeah, I've got that one. That is great as well. Absolutely wonderful. Brilliant film. I've only got a DVD of that. Imagine most of them are DVDs, but yeah, that's a great film. So if you like I Saw the Devil, then you'll like The Chaser. Yeah. And Sire said he's added it to the list. Yeah. Umbrella and Entertainment have a Blu-ray release of The Chaser. It might be out of print though. Yeah, Umbrella, yeah, be expensive, extremely expensive. Probably is out of print. Tony says, got rid of Endless Night. Wasn't too keen on it. Much prefer Owl Bennett and Haley Mills together in Twisted Nerve. Really enjoyed that one. Yeah. I haven't seen Twisted Nerve, but they were good in that. I enjoyed it anyhow. But yeah. So it's still standard edition of The Chaser available at Umbrella. It's about £20.50 plus postage. Well, I suppose that's not bad. That's not bad, I suppose.
Every time I keep hearing that Umbrella, I can say, does Rihanna own Umbrella?
Oh,
because then it'd be Umbrella.
Ella, but you've been quite, Rihanna. I remember Rihanna. Whatever happened to her? Did she retire or something?
I don't know.
I've not heard of her for years. Yeah. Right.
Wow, she used to keep going on Pop Idol and all of that, and then that stopped, and so then she's not about, is she?
No, she had quite a big career. She was massive at one time.
I dare say she's enjoying herself with the wealth that she
actually, I think she had some children. Once you have children, it changes your life. A lot of women pop stars and that just change.
Could probably say the same for Adele. She crops up every 3 years or something.
Yeah. And then so he says $22.50, which isn't bad, but plus postage. Shasha is currently streaming. Oh, it's on Amazon. So I'll have a look at it there. Brilliant. Well, go and have a look at it. I forget that I've got the Amazon Prime thing. I do forget. I should have a look more on there. And Tony said never could never get into Shelley. I say I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. I knew it had people who have mixed opinions on it.
Shelley, the TV series.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Hugh Bennett, isn't it?
that's it. Because that's what I mentioned in a film. It's connected.
I don't know whether I don't know. I saw it as a kid. It was on sort of like after the news, 10 o'clock news. It was on about 10:30. I remember the theme tune, which was like a whistling theme tune,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that. And he just seemed to go around talking to people all the time. He was talking round the breakfast table, or talking at work between two people, or then talking with the librarian, and then talking with I never knew really what the bloody story was about, really, but maybe that's my age.
Amusing away in life.
I much preferred Budgie.
Yeah. I didn't know, but I've never seen Shelley, so I didn't know.
You haven't missed much. I think basically,
no.
if you ever saw Agony, you'd get Shelley.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a very talky thing.
Yeah.
It was him moaning, basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah, which can get a bit boring after a while.
I suppose. Yeah. I suppose it could be the life of a streamer. Really. Yeah. You could do it. You could do it now as a bloke who's got a YouTube channel, going around going, "Yeah, I've just tried to do an episode today. Boring. I couldn't think of anything." Well, and then moaning, "Yeah, my legs hurt, my arse hurt, I got a headache." Couldn't think of anything.
No, I've just thought to myself. Now, if anybody's watching here, there's only 6 people. There might be somebody, but possibly not, who's not subscribed to Delboy's channel. If you haven't, why not? Why not? And you're going to lose another one, he says. So please subscribe to Delboy's channel. He's got a great channel. Honestly, I absolutely think it's fantastic. His blog is a real look at life. It really is. I watch it on Sundays. When I'm having my lunch, and I just think it's fantastic. Well, no, actually, it's not my lunch, is it? It'll be my tea, because sometimes you don't get them out till about 3 o'clock-ish.
About 4 o'clock.
About 4 o'clock. But I watch it. Yeah, it's my tea. I watch it, and I absolutely love it. It's a real look at life and his life ups and downs, and it's real. And that's what's, it's good to see somebody being honest and real in life. And I think it's great. And I recommend it to anybody. If you want to see his life.
That's very decent of you. But you know me. But
it's true. Don't you think?
I have my little section at the end where I talk about people's channels. If Muckman's done his watching stuff, or if Down the Rabbit Hole's done a couple of videos this week, or all of those sort of stuff. I tell people about it because I want people to know, I've watched this, and these people have done a YouTube, and they've spent time out of their lives to do this, or people that have taken time to comment, and I'll read it out verbatim what they said, because they're either generally interested, or they want to know my opinion or something. And then the other bit is I want to educate people that there's a lot of stuff out there that you might not have seen.
But I have to say, at a personal level, for me, I really relate to you, because I was a full-time carer of my wife, and therefore when you're talking about looking after your mother, I totally get it and understand. And I think people like your honesty about it. You don't paper over it. You talk about it honestly and how it affects you, because it affects you. Whatever people may say or they don't understand that it's a full-time commitment. I know you're working, but you are still fully committed to looking after your mum, and it is a full-time thing. And I don't think people totally understand that haven't been through it always. And hopefully the people that haven't been through that situation, hopefully they get a glimpse of what it does to you as well, what the strain on you. and how difficult it is, and your own health. So that's why I say it's an honest blog. You don't paint over anything. You don't
That's nice of you.
advertise it, and I think that's important. That's all. I think it's far more important to be honest.
I think the thing I haven't really talked about much is, because I mean I notice it myself, and I push myself to the limit. Is fatigue and confidence has got to me a little bit with YouTube at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm tending to find that if I've got some time to myself, I'm sitting down in my chair and I'm going, do you know what? I could be sitting at the computer now doing a picture for my next video. And then I think to myself, no, I'm just going to sit here for a minute.
Motivation.
And then suddenly the day's gone and you're going, shit, that's lost that. And then I wouldn't know what I'm going to do. And then the confidence has gone in regards to, you watch the numbers dwindle on your channel, or you see less comments, or you get or something.
I understand that.
And I start to lose. I come here and I get a bit of that confidence back. That's why I like talking. That's why I like talking to Tony and Si and Jamie.
I mean, I always say to you, you need an escape from your situation, and just going on and doing a game, I think, is a great easier thing for you to do, because I know your gaming community enjoy watching people playing games. So if you play a game, I think that's funny. It's a good release for you.
Somebody said, actually, when are you next going to do a stream? And I said, well, it's very opportunistic at the moment.
Yeah.
And what's happened? The last 2 weeks, right? I've gone, right, I'm going to do this on Saturday. And then my friend 20th Century Gaming on Saturday did something at 9 o'clock. And I went, well, shit, he's on for 2 hours and I ain't going to do it at 11 o'clock at night. So I'll do it next week. And then the following week, my mate Mainmeister came back from holiday and said, oh, I'm going to do a Saturday stream. And he did it at 8:30 at night. And he went all the way till 10:30 at night. And I went, well, there's another Saturday bloody gone. Shit.
Because Saturday's your best opportunity, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I hope, just don't give up. Try and, occasionally just decide to just do it. Just go on. Don't think about it too much. Even if somebody else is on doing something, just put it out there. I think it's just worth doing, and because it's for you as well. Just think of it as for yourself. And you're actually putting out a video which is helping, hopefully, your channel a bit. So just look at it like that,
Well, I put out something there in the blog and said, look, there's a lot of stuff that I've done in the past. You might have an idea of what you'd like to see me do in the future, or you might like to say, can you bring this back? It's something that what I would say to people is if they are going to write a comment about bringing something back, just bear with me and just understand.
Yeah.
It is a very opportunist time for me. If you want something that comes back that I have to speak to somebody else to get somebody to say, can you do this? It's very difficult because I have to wait for them to come back and give me that information. And then it might be a week or two before I can do it. And certain stuff that I used to do with people, I'd have to do it within 2 days, because otherwise there's an element of, you could go on YouTube and find out what it is that they've asked you to do. And I like to do it that I've never seen the game before, or I've never seen the film before. If you take 2 weeks, then I can't turn around and say, I was told 2 weeks ago to do this, and here we are, and I've never seen it. Anybody that looks at that is going, oh, come on. In 2 weeks, you haven't thought of just putting that word into YouTube and seeing other people play it, or getting an idea of how it works, or you've had 2 weeks to watch it, digest it. You're telling me that you watched it last night and then recorded this? Don't believe you. And so collaboration is very much something that I think can be, should I say, it can be very much something that needs to be done immediately. It can't be left for weeks.
There's
other stuff that you can plan, but a lot of the stuff I do is I've got to do it immediately.
Is it possible? I mean, I don't know enough about this, but is it possible to know favorite games of the past that you want to revisit? Why can't you just
I did it.
revisit
I did my 8-bit years, and I did some gaming. I have got my Delboy gaming shorts, and I started to do that.
Yeah.
It's
going
not,
on and doing something.
So I'm continuing that. Like I said,
Yeah.
the filming shorts are very, very good, because the filming shorts just allows me to go to my pile of films over there, pick one up, and then go, right, okay, talk about that one then today.
Yeah.
Right, I'll do the unboxing, I'll do the trailer at the end, I'll go into my collection and say what it says, who's in it, and all of this. Just like when Tony York sends you his latest pile of shit that he's got out of his attic or something, right? And you've got a ton of films to talk about for the next 6 months. I've got a ton of films that I could talk about.
Yeah.
I'm not finding the enthusiasm that
I was going to say, I can understand that, because things can start to wear out, and sometimes you have to really force yourself to get motivated. It is true. Sometimes you really have to, and then you think, oh, well, why bother? I'm not going to bother, and that'll win. I'm too tired. I'd rather nod off.
Yeah. So just to go back, the two things that are attacking me at the moment is confidence, fatigue. That's it.
Yeah, fatigue.
And there'll be a time where I will go, I feel more confident. That might be just something that happens. Or fatigue, it'll be, no, I've got a couple of good nights sleep in me now. Now I'm going to start doing it. Right?
Also, you need that, because the blog is important. It's an important part of thing. And you don't want to ever get to the stage where you're thinking, oh, I can't be bothered doing my blog. I'm too knackered. I'm too tired. You got
that'll never happen.
Force yourself. You got to say, look.
Even when I had my heart attack, I did it on the Wednesday.
Yes, you did. Yeah. So
never happened.
That is important. You've got that motivation, and long as your blog keeps chugging along, then that's fine. And others is a bonus. And sometimes you might get a bonus. You might get a week where you just suddenly think, yeah, I'll do that. I'll just go and do it on spur of moment. Sometimes without planning things can be a good thing. You just do it. You think, you know what? I just feel what I want to do that, and just do it. That's all I'm saying.
The blog is easy. The blog is easy because, just like being here, I tend to find I can talk for England.
Yeah, I know you can. You can just
that camera's there, and I go, what am I going to talk about?
And you can find something to talk about.
And then something will come in, and then that will bounce off as this, and then it will bounce off of this, and it's much like a skimming stone across the river.
Yeah.
One ripple touches another ripple, and then touches another.
And that's it. You find something else. You think, oh yeah, about this. What about that? And it makes you think. It's like, I know. It's like sometimes I think with sods, I am sometimes with questions I've asked you, and I'm thinking, God, he's going to forget, that, because when you're on the spot and you're quite tired, it's sometimes difficult to think. Oh, something's in your brain. You can see it, but you just can't.
Yeah.
Articulate it.
I've told you here before, Ian. I said it's so good me being here, but I do have my doubts. I turn around and go, how many people in the room actually ask me a question? And then I go away sometimes and go, not many. And then there are other times that I turn around and go, how relevant am I? There's so many people that are talking about films, and I go, don't think I've seen that.
It's good for you.
And then you build me up and you say, yeah, but you're so good in other areas.
Yeah, you are.
I go, yeah.
You know me.
That builds my confidence up. But there are so many. There are so many times I've been knocked back. Maybe I've taken it wrong.
Knocked back. But what you do is you think, this is just my experience. We get knocked back, but then we've got to say, yeah, okay, it's just a setback. There's a lot more in me yet. I'm going to carry on and do it. That's what you got to do.
Sometimes you've got to have the power in yourself that turns around and said, sod what other people want, do what you want to do.
Exactly. That's what I always say. That even with my own channel, I always say, if I'm not enjoying
But
doing something,
But
don't do it.
I'll tell you what the problem is that sometimes depending on your personality, you want to be a people pleaser. And a
Yeah,
people pleaser basically means you go out there and you say, well, what do you guys want me to do?
yeah,
Right? Because
yeah.
then you're pleasing someone. And if they've mentioned it, it must be a much better idea than your own.
Ah,
Right?
no, you
You
shouldn't
know what I
think that
mean?
always. Yeah,
Right? But other times it should be, you should have your
yeah,
own agenda. You
yeah.
should have
It's
your
for
own
your own.
agenda.
Yeah, what you
Make it
want
how
going
you want
to.
it to be.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like a good example is that I remember when you didn't go into or have a section on film and movie scores and things like that.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
quite a more relative thing, and I think maybe it's through actually being on this, this live every week that has made you actually talk about these things more. Which I think I'm really quite pleased about that.
That came about when I started to get shut down a little bit in regards to going on people's channels to talk about films, because even when that happened, there was still movie stuff that I was watching,
Yeah,
that weren't part of those people's channels. And I
yeah,
thought to myself, well, yeah, I do like watching Mondo Television. I do like listening to
yeah,
Jim Jam, and I
yeah,
do like listening to,
yeah,
and and then I thought to myself, I'll throw soundtracks in because
yeah.
sometimes I go on you. Do you know when I first got onto YouTube, the first thing I did was create a playlist of music videos.
Well, there you
Right?
are.
I don't think many people do that these days.
No,
They're watching stuff like this, which is great.
yeah,
That bolsters us. But I tell you what, I used to have a little playlist, and I used
yeah,
to put all this stuff on there,
yeah. I have.
and
I've done that.
I'd go, oh, and that now that I've heard that Alan Parsons Project single, I wonder what the music video looked like for, I don't know, I Robot, or the
Yeah,
music video for Pyramid, or I
yeah,
wonder then what Jeff Lynne did in ELO in the
yeah,
video for his album of Time, say.
yeah,
Or, and then I'd go, oh, and then I remember watching the old Grey Whistle Test. Right, I'll put that in, and then there'll be a ton of
yeah.
stuff there.
That's
And then
right.
that'd have bands, and then I'd start, and it just goes on and on and
It's
on. And it's what
brilliant.
I said, it's a,
Once you start that, that's brilliant. That's the way to
yeah,
do
because
it.
I'd start off at 9 o'clock, bored out of my tears, and then I'd watch something on YouTube. And then when I finished watching YouTube, it was 3 in the morning. I go,
Yeah, I
bloody
know.
hell!
It can get addictive.
I've just been listening to shitty music.
Sometimes you just go from one thing to another. It's addictive. I find it addictive sometimes. I was like, oh yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd like to know, is there a video of this and that, and of a group? I might think, oh, is there a live performance of whatever group? I'll tell you a good example. I'll say, oh, the Yardbirds from 1960s. Is there any live performances by Yardbirds? And then I'm
Yeah.
typing in, and then what? You suddenly discover there they are.
Oh yeah, I still can't believe the naivety of some people, because there was one that there was the other day, and I looked at it and said, I can't believe that the Animals was a British band. I thought it was American music, right? They were listening to the House of the Rising Sun, right? They were going, I thought that was an American track.
No.
Why?
No.
60s Britain music,
Yeah.
right, was doing all of this sort of stuff. The Righteous Brothers,
Exactly.
the Animals, the Holly. I mean, for goodness sake, they all wanted to break the American charts.
Yeah.
So of course, they were doing all stuff like the Beatles that cracked America.
Exactly. America didn't really get a big change until you had people like the Doors. And that's later. Yeah. That's about 67, I think, isn't it? 68.
Yeah, Vietnam, around Vietnam.
Yeah. That's the America didn't really have as much in terms of that. There are stuff you could probably, Allman Brothers and people like that, you could point at. There's a blues tradition, but we were the ones with the Beatles that opened up to America to British music.
I mean, they probably wouldn't get tracks like or understand tracks like No Milk Today, say, right?
Yeah.
which is a bit of a tale of a milk bottle telling somebody that they're in the house or not, right?
Yeah.
Which was a telltale thing to do in the 60s, probably,
Yeah.
if you're having an
Yeah.
affair with someone, right?
Yeah.
In America, they go, "What's he on about? A milk bottle on a step
Yeah.
for? What's all that all about?"
There's a
'Cause
language.
they would go to the supermarkets
Yeah.
to get their milk all the way through. That didn't have electric milk vans going around delivering your milk, or
No.
horses and carts with big churns or anything.
No.
You know what I mean? So,
Oh, Benny Hill. Going
yeah, I
going,
mean, yeah, Ernie, yeah. Oh. But but we had creepy songs as well. I was telling my sister, I said, I've forgotten what this tune's called, Tracy, and then she told me what it was. It was sitting on the back seat, kissing and a cuddling with Fred. Right? Do you remember that one?
I know
Put
the
your hands on.
Drifters had ones, but I didn't know about that one. I'm not.
We're having fun, sitting on the back seat, kissing and a cuddling with Fred. Right? It's it's one of those sort of songs. My sister then came back and said, bloody creepy song as well, that.
Actually, the problem is nowadays the way we look at things. Unfortunately, a lot of 60s things in films, in music, culture, we see it as creepy looking. What can I say? I mean
my mum played things like a boy named Sue, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Cash, right?
Oh yes, yeah, right. Yeah.
And everybody that talks about Johnny Cash always talks about his last track, "Hurt" or something,
Yeah.
which is obviously a homage, to But what I'm trying to say is it's all Sam Quinton with Johnny Cash, isn't it?
That live album,
right?
He might have done a few at San Quentin.
It's all burning. It's all Ring of Fire and all of this.
Yeah.
People don't talk about a boy named Sue.
No. Oh no, though that's a bit too much.
You know what I mean?
And, well, what about the controversy with Kinks? Lola.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. It was banned.
Coca-Cola, Lola.
They had to re-record that, didn't they, to get it played?
Because of that line. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I must admit, I being a kiddie, I like things with a bit of a story. So I like to listen to songs like "My Brother."
Yeah.
My brother.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Because they weren't jokey ones, but they were more said than sung.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
And it was because it was funny.
Yeah.
A boy named Sue. That's weird. Why are you going to call a boy called? Why are you going to call him?
It was. Nobody went into it and made a big thing of it. It was just, well, that's funny. Yeah. Oh, why? But times are just different now. Yeah. But I do understand. I have to say, I don't want to be too controversial, but I think it's important how sometimes you feel about something. I was a great fan of Woody Allen. I thought Woody Allen was an absolute genius. And with all this Epstein files business, now I can't even bear to look at him and see his films. And it's there in his films, and that makes you think, oh God.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have a problem watching Manhattan or Annie Hall or anything like that. Bananas I watched not long ago.
But what about Manhattan? She's a really young girl, isn't she? That he things and things like that. You suddenly see it in a different.
I have a bit of trouble watching anything past Hannah and her sisters. A little.
Yeah. But
I like Radio Days.
Yeah, I like my favorite is Sleeper, but that's
Sleeper.
Yeah. But when I've seen him recently, he's just put me right off. He's really and it shouldn't. Normally, I try and separate the art from, the filmmaker. Polanski is perhaps an example of that, but with him now, I just find him creepy, and I don't like it. And that's a weird change. That's a weird change. It's just me. I've just been affected by seeing all this. And that's weird to be
I can
affected
understand
by
that. I can understand it.
And especially as I used to think he's absolutely fantastic, his films. But anyhow, there we are. Britt Eklund was my childhood crush. I can understand why. To understand why. Yeah. And then, nice Sai with regard to the Chaser. And then, as Sai says, I went to see Sendell at the weekend. Good film, but it has a silly ending. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
that's Sam Raimi, isn't it?
Is it? Is that? Oh, right. And then, he said, I also had a unique cinema experience on Saturday night. Went to a screening of Amadeus, and before the film, there was a live piano recital of some music from Mozart. It was so good. Well, that is a great experience to have live
Amadeus
music.
is on Sky at the moment. We talked about Amadeus the other day.
Yeah.
And I told you that I'm pretty sure I bought the Arrow box set, the thick one.
Yes.
And then I told you that there's a TV series that was on Sky over Christmas called Amadeus, which was
that's right. Yeah.
And the only thing about it is that they said if you've seen the film, there's no real point in watching the TV series.
Yeah.
But I always look at it like this: there's always something different that you'll see or whatever. But most of Amadeus, if I remember rightly, the middle part was operas.
Yeah, look,
mostly his opera stuff,
and
the fact that they tried to scupper his career by him doing things like what was it, The Marriage of Figaro? Is it?
Yes,
I think it was the French emperor that he was trying to impress, and he'd put in lots of clauses, hadn't he, in regards to
what he wanted in it,
ballets, that you can't have Figaro and all of this sort of stuff because they'd put bans on things.
Yeah,
but they all fell down.
Yeah,
but it is weird about Mozart because he was struggling. He had to sell half of his stuff to get music out there.
Yeah. And he didn't finish his Requiem, did he? Which is
that's right.
I love his Requiem. I've got that, and I play his Requiem, and it completed, I think, by somebody else. But it's a shame he didn't complete it. Anyhow, and then don't remember hardly anything about Zardos. You don't. Saw it on TV many years ago. Seems to recall a huge flying ad. It
was done because the director wanted to do Lord of the Rings, didn't it?
Yeah.
And that got cancelled. So then he decided to repurpose. In other words, he was going to film in Ireland, and he still used all those locations he scouted for, and then came out with a story that's similar to Lord of the Rings, but he included a big head.
Yeah,
and I think it cost 1.5 million and was a flop.
I'm not surprised.
I think Connery decided to choose it because he really wanted to piss off the people that were doing Bond, because he wanted to have something as far away from Bond as you could.
Yeah, and he couldn't get any more.
He went around with a nappy around him for the whole.
It's just. Yeah.
And of course it's very much like two tribes type thing. There's the brutalists, the thickies or whatever, and then there's the aristocrats that live like. It's all themes that we've seen before, but I watched it about 6 months ago. Zardos.
I can't manage it hardly. It's
hard. I have to say it's a hard.
Yeah. I've seen worse. I've seen worse films, but I just don't get on with it really. But there are worse films. And then Jamie says, which is true. What he says, that's amazing, Sam. What a fantastic thing for them to do. It is to put some live music there, which is absolutely wonderful thing to do. And then we've got the man himself, Jim Jam. Hi, guys.
Good. Did I mention his name 3 times, and that's why he turned up or something?
Oh dear. And then Tony Hawk's Ian. Jungle is a sophisticated troll, in my opinion, with regard my earlier comment. Yeah, I was wondering about Jungle. whether they
What's
were
that?
a troll. We had
Oh.
asking some questions earlier that were something
Oh.
just slightly off about them. Yeah, they could be. I think you're right, Tony. I think there was something just a bit off about it. Yeah.
Fair enough. I was probably
Yeah,
with my mum at the time. I don't know.
Yeah. And then Jim Jones says, anyone took advantage of the 2 for 15 in the vintage range?
See, this makes me laugh, right? Because get here on time, Jim Jam, right? Because we were talking about that. I've already turned around and said that thank you, Muckman Movies, for telling me about that. Then there's you've told us about it, right? And he comes in saying, anybody took advantage of it? And I'm going, do you not watch Ian's channel? Do you not watch Muckman's channel? What's going on? I think
I love it. We love you, Jim Jam.
we love you, Jim Jam, but wake up, you miserable bastard. It's like turning up half an hour into a film or something.
Tony says,
look, the vintage range. Look, the vintage range. Look.
Oh dear. I totally agree with you, Tony. Yeah. Tony, there he is again. And then Jim Dawson, who is getting the new Thunderbirds Blu-ray set? You need a lot of money, I think, for that. The Blu-ray one.
The other thing you could add to that is who's getting the new Thunderbirds Blu-ray set again?
Yeah. Yes.
Don't know how many times you can release it.
Yeah. This is released by. I saw somebody showing it off. Isn't it by?
Imprint did it last time.
That's it. Yeah, it is expensive. You need a blooming mortgage to.
But when you do look on YouTube, you will see that Jerry Anderson is saying, "Here's our new restoration," and I think it's because they're gearing towards a 4K release.
Yeah. What about the shop? Does that sell it? I wonder.
Yeah, you can get it.
It's cheaper.
All Imprint's done is taken the license from Jerry Anderson and said, right. And then they've added a load of other stuff and put it in new packaging and charged you 120 quid for the
exactly
for doing it. Well, I'll just go to the Jerry Anderson store. Thank you very much. You get it for 35 quid. I don't need a £120 bloody box in a box the size of this.
Yeah.
I think I could do with just the episodes. Thank you.
Yeah. It'll get a 4K release, as you say, eventually.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, they've already done Space 1999, and
yeah.
Well, I bought them, didn't I? I bought there was one. They just did one episode just for now.
Yeah.
So there was 2 episodes of Thunderbirds, and there was 1 episode of Space 1999.
Yeah.
4K steelbook that came out over Christmas, and that's probably treading the waters, just testing it, see how they sell.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a look here. Really? This is Jim Jam. Really into watching Peter Sellers films at the moment. Any suggestions?
That's funny, actually, because the amount of Peter Sellers films he's actually shown off.
Yeah.
The last couple of months.
My favourite, I think I make no bones about it, is I love I'm All Right, Jack.
And I've always turned around and said being there and
being there
and
two-way stretch
after the Fox. After the Fox.
Yeah. Two-way stretch, I think is pretty good. Prison one. In Crow.
I tell you what, if you're really into your Peter Sellers, why don't you do something a little bit different and go, right, I think I'll listen to the radio stuff.
Yes.
Because that would be going out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I tell you what, there's a lot of gold.
Yeah.
With the stuff that was on radio.
Yeah.
Oh. And then after you've done that, go and look at some of the interviews he did with Parkinson.
Yes. Yeah.
You'll get a different insight on what Peter Sellers was all
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. And Being There is an amazing film. As
Yeah.
he's mentioned it here a lot. So it says Being There. Yeah.
Oh, I bought that.
Yeah.
As soon as that was out on DVD, I bought it, and I got the Blu-ray, I think.
Oh, no. Yeah. Muckman says, I bought 2 of the vintage classics, Breathless and Lion in Winter. Lion in Winter. Fantastic film. Absolutely. One of those lovely epic films. It's just fantastic. Love it. Love
John
that.
Barry did the score to that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you are. Well, Breathless, I've heard of that, but I don't think I've seen Breathless. Who's
I think Jim. I think it was Jamie actually that suggested I buy Breathless. Actually,
who's in?
He sent me a text message, but I think he sent it me just after I'd already ordered four of the vintage range, and I went, bollocks.
I can't recall who's in Breathless, but I have heard it mentioned definitely.
Lion in Winter, the score, the musical score in The Lion in Winter is just absolutely gorgeous. But I like John Barry scores anyway.
Yeah.
Probably because I listen to so many Bond scores.
Yeah, I'm sure that's part of it. Yeah.
And Somewhere in Time is a fantastic score.
Now let's see. Tony says, he just got the latest 2 vintage classic releases of Peter Sellers, James. Only 2 can play. I've seen people showing that. And Carlton Brown of the Foreign Office. People are going FO, and I presume it's Foreign Office. There were 2 late last year as well. Heavens Above and Two Way Stretch. Yes, Two Way Stretch.
Heavens Above, I've seen.
Yeah. Oh dear. Question. Favorite Willem Dafoe performance?
That's a hard one because he chooses such great roles. I mean, obviously he played the Green Goblin, didn't he? So I mean, I'm obviously going to be a bit biased for Spider-Man. I did enjoy The Lighthouse. He was great in Platoon.
No, this is where I need your knowledge. Was he in that film about the deaf girl? There's a
deaf girl.
What's it called? Something of the Gods, isn't it?
Christ.
I'm going to look up because it's a real. She was a deaf actress in that. I'm sure.
I'll do the same then. Willem Dafoe.
I may be wrong, but I'm sure it is. Is it Children of the Gods? So
here we go.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Because, like I said, I've seen most of the. I saw his most iconic breakdown of his stuff, and I'll tell you now, he broke down his roles in Asteroid.
Antichrist, of course, is the controversial one. Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah, he talked about that.
The Northman as well. Well, he's in a lot, isn't he? John Carter. Wild at Heart. Death Note. Wow. I think I'm wrong then. I don't think it is this. Is that one in? That's it. Life Aquatic. Fantastic Mix. Yeah. I'm picking wrong one then.
Oh yeah, he was in American Psycho. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. Actually, that's a quite good one, isn't it?
Of course, nobody will talk about Speed 2, will they?
No. I know that's got a bad reputation, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot here. Wild at Heart. I remember him in that. Aviator. I've seen him in that. Yeah. I don't know if I've seen him in Antichrist.
Ah,
Bad Country, yeah. Seen that. Dog Eat Dog, yeah. Seen that. I can't remember him. Oh, yes, he was in Aquaman. He wasn't very. I
oh,
didn't think much of him.
I've never seen Aquaman. I just didn't fancy. I couldn't face it. I couldn't.
See, that sounds interesting, and I don't think I've seen it. The Card Counter. I'd like that one. I bet you any money I'd like that film.
Yeah, yeah.
I bet you that's right up my street. The Northman, yeah, I remember him in The Northman. Yeah. I don't think I've seen things like The Man in the Basement. You know what I mean?
No.
What? No, really bells.
Oh, what are you doing in the basement? Well,
You're never going to get to some of these questions. I'll tell you what, there's a question here that's just cropped up, which is very interesting. 20th Century Gaming, who stole my thunder on a Saturday.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
He put,
Right,
are you fans of Creature from the Black Lagoon? As a kid, I used to watch it on a projector. Tell you what, I was a fan of Creature from the Black Lagoon, and I was so surprised that they brought out a 3D version when I had my 3D TV. I was going, oh my god, right? But anyway, let's get back to Willem Dafoe.
I'm just going to sign now. Says, I like to brag about independent cinemas in Newcastle. We do.
Yeah, don't you just?
Well, I'm going to a special screening of The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 on March the 1st. I can't wait. I presume it's the original one.
Well, that's what I mean. That's so ambiguous. Yeah. Is it the Denzel Washington one, or is it the Walter Matthau
early one? Walter Matthau.
I mean, the Walter Matthau one to me is the one that I watch.
Yeah, I think it'll be that one.
I love that. I mean, me and Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. So
I don't think they would show it. Oh yeah, he's agreeing with me. Tony says he's good in I'm All Right, Jack too. If you want to see him in a rare non-comedy role, try Never Let Go, where he plays a vicious gangster. Really? Well, that's interesting. Ian, Sam Raimi didn't direct the remake of Poltergeist. He was producer. All right, yeah. I'm surprised he wanted to get away. Anyhow, it's a dreadful film. What I've seen just by watching the trailer, the remake should never have been made. Absolutely.
Well, I told you, didn't I? I couldn't believe it when Sam Raimi's name came up against that. What's his name? Summit Driver. He was in this space film that basically had dinosaurs in it. 42 or something. It was something like that. Bloody awful piece of shit. Right? Where they crash land on a planet.
Yeah.
On this planet, there are Tyrannosaurus Rexes or something, and they've got no weapons and all of this sort of stuff. Andy Driver or something, the one who's in the Star Wars films, the later ones.
Yeah.
The one who's Han Solo's bloody son or something.
Right.
All I'm saying is, bloody awful. And it came up but he was just producer. But he actually put his name on it. He's done a lot of producing just recently, Sam Raimi. Right. Rather than directing, he's produced a lot.
Yeah. Si says, have you seen Willem Dafoe in The Lighthouse? Yeah, it's a unique performance. But to be fair, I absolutely love him in Spider-Man. And then Jamie says he's brilliant in The Lighthouse. Yeah. Muckman, he should have won an Oscar for The Lighthouse. Yeah. And
it is a strong performance.
I forgot about this. Yeah, I love Willem Dafoe in Platoon. Yes.
Yeah, I mentioned Platoon.
Yeah. Tony says, nothing from me from Radiance again in today's forthcoming release announcement. There was a Jean-Paul Belmondo thriller, but I already have it in a DVD box set of his, and that's good enough for me. Well, you've saved some brass, haven't you? So that's all right. You can't. That's right good. I need to see Shadow of the Vampire, which he's supposed to be excellent in. Oh,
I haven't seen that.
No, he's good in Boondock Saints. It's an interesting title.
Again, I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah. And then James says, I personally think Willem Dafoe deserves a Lifetime Achievement Oscar. He's 70 years old, crikey. So it's definitely not about time before he retires or pegs it. I love that pegs it.
Are you trying to say he's a coffin dodger or what?
Oh, dear. And Tony says, Eureka recently announced a couple of interesting releases for April. Danger Diabolique, an Italian crime film directed by Mario Bava. Oh, right. Already have it on an Australian Blu-ray. Also a box set of German produced westerns based on the work of the 19th century German writer Karl May. Hope to get that. I already have some, but none of the ones in this set. Oh, that's good.
I know
that, got some that are not in the set. Brilliant.
I know that Arrow are just about to announce, it's not been announced just yet, a follow-up to that big box set that came out that had robot jocks and that in it. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, a video. What they call it? Was it a video?
Something at the movies or something.
Yeah.
I know that'll sell well.
Yeah. Oh, it will. It'll probably get sold out pretty quickly. Probably sell out. And then Muckman James says, yeah, I'm not totally enamored with Radiance's announcement, Tony. Maybe that crime thriller you mentioned. It says, I'm tempted with that German Western box set, but after some research, none of the films get amazing reviews, scores.
Yeah, but maybe Jamie, you can forgo those reviews and just like it for yourself.
Yeah,
it's one of those ones that I'll tell you what. When I had money to burn, I when somebody turned around to me and said, "Take a punt on this. I think you'll like it." I more than often I actually did, and then I actually didn't live to regret it. Sometimes there was just some shit that they said, "Christ, you don't know me very well." That was bloody awful, right? But most of the time, I actually got some real stuff that I'd have never have thought of in a lifetime.
Yeah, I don't always go by reviews and scores, and especially if you look around, sometimes you'll find they're not all consistent. Anyhow, some people like something, unless it's. I mean, obviously there are certain stinker films, but it's always worth investigating. I'll try and find a trailer or somebody, something like that.
Yeah,
find a trailer. You never know. Worth looking at. Actually, I watched the trailer. I don't often watch them, and it was the new Star Wars thing, the Mandalorian movie.
Oh Christ! Yeah, that's coming out.
What is the difference between that and the TV series?
Oh, that's what everybody's going.
Yeah.
What? How can you make a film when there was hardly any material for the bloody TV series?
Yeah, and a one that people said went downhill. It didn't do very well at the end, did it?
The last season was pretty pants.
So I thought, well, if that is what Star Wars has become now,
that to me is merchandise that's coming out for.
Well, and they're probably so desperate. They think, oh well, everybody loved Mandalorian. They're bound to go to want to see it at the cinema, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen at all. I think people might have just had enough. The TV series has done them in. And we'll see anyhow. I may be wrong. I could be wrong. It's a good one, in my opinion, Jamie. If I didn't already have it, I'd get it. Belmondo made quite a few of those crime thriller films, which are usually well worth watching. That's good. See, there you are. I might get it then when it comes down in price a bit. Yeah, sometimes just wait and you get it. Yeah. Tony says the German westerns are an acquired taste, Jamie. They were forerunners of the spaghettis, but are more in the style of boys' own style adventures. A bit tongue in cheek at times, but I do enjoy them. Oh, that's good.
That's an honest review, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. And Si says, have you seen that there's a horror film in production called Hungry? It's an adaptation of the board game.
Oh, you're
Hungry
joking.
Hippos. What is the world coming to? Really not. Surely
Imagine
not.
that.
Hungry Hippos.
They ran out. I mean, when that board game came out, the only thing that I remember about that board game was the bloody advert for it. Bloody awful. And then you think to yourself, how can you make a film of Hungry Hippos?
What the?
I mean, they've got a big sort of like handle at the back, and their necks extend out. And they eat as many marbles that's in the arena as they possibly can. That's it. That's all Hungry Hippos is.
It just sounds like desperation.
I said that statement in about 15 seconds. So Christ knows what the film's gonna is. It's an hour and a half long. Christ, how can you extend 15 seconds into an hour and a half? I suppose you have to tell the life story of the pink hippo and then the purple hippo.
You just wonder where it's going to go. Are they going to do one with Connect?
Oh, Christ, can you imagine? Imagine Buckaroo. Buckaroo and Kaplunk. That'd be a good one, wouldn't it?
Operated.
The Mad Doctor's Game.
Operation.
I used to think that it was actually called Operation the Mad Doctor's Game. It's just called Operation.
Yeah.
But I know that advert off by hand.
Actually, some executive is thinking, hey, that's a good idea. We could do that film. Yeah. No.
It wasn't that exciting operation, but
it wasn't. It wasn't. After you'd done it a few times, it wasn't.
That's £200 for me. Can I have a go?
And then he says, generally though, he enjoys those films. And then Muckman's looking shocked. And then Muckman was Ian telling Delboy, "You have a massive what might be the double entendre highlight of the night." Oh God, hey missus, we're getting carry on now.
I can't remember the context you said that in. It must have been when I just sat down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he got a man. Oh, what can you say?
I didn't know you'd been watching.
Yeah. Carry on streaming. Hey, that's a good one. Carry on streaming. Oh, the latest comedy. Yes. Oh dear. Tony says, I think you'll have Twisted Nerve DVD, Ian. I got an Australian Blu-ray last year. I'll have to have a look at that one if I can dig it out. Yeah.
That'll be another one winging its way.
Delboy, this is a question for you. Did you used to watch Budgie in your Budgie
Smugglers? I've never had any Budgie Smugglers, but I did watch Budgie. I already said.
I watched it. Yeah, Adam Faith. That's how I remember. Yeah.
I think everybody remembers him trying to catch the money.
Yeah.
But it was the Scottish gangster, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. Was it Ian Cuthbertson?
Ian Cuthbertson. Yeah.
Yep. That's it. Oh, crikey.
They chased after him in one episode. I remember this. They chased after him in one episode, and he landed in the remnants of a church that was basically just about crumbling to bits. And he ran there thinking that nobody will go in there to try and beat him up because it's in a church. And then he goes and said, I ain't bothered about that, and beat the shit out of him. I thought that was quite interesting. But in one episode, he bought a load of biros, didn't he? And kept trying to sell them around. He bought 300 weight of biros. Weird show. But he was always trying to get.
Yeah.
He always tried to get £5 profit out of anything that he actually was doing.
It's a show that was a bit
like Minder.
controversial.
It's like a gangster version of Minder.
Yeah. For the BBC, you see, the BBC in those days they took chances.
It was ITV, wasn't it? Budgie.
Yeah.
Budgie was ITV.
Oh, Budgie. Oh, sorry, was that ITV? So it is quite. I thought it was BBC, but you're right. It probably was. But it was ahead of its time. Its style and everything was very different. Very different. Cyrus is laughing there. That was a cheap joke. Oh dear.
Oh, that's awful.
Dear. Bloody hell, Ian.
Yeah,
do
you remember the joke that I said at the end of my blog on Sunday? That was a bloody awful joke, wasn't it? It was that science one that I said. Somebody asked me, what would you like to add to the periodic table? And I said, I'd like to add silence, because then there'd be an element.
Yeah.
Surprise. That's it. Yeah. I want to add surprise, because then there'd be an element of surprise. That was awful. That was a dad joke.
Yeah. He says, I could be the new Sid James. The only problem is I haven't got that laugh. I need the Sid James laugh.
You got to do the Sid James. You got to do the.
I can't do. I can't do it. I can't do it. Sid James can do it. And then, matron, take them away.
Infamy. They've all got it in for me.
Yeah, infamy. My videos are still out of sync, though. Oh yeah, you said about this. So I think it may be the clip on the mic I use. It's probably become defective. Yeah,
it's a very easy test. Just do a 15-second test without it, and then do which is just the phone's mic, and then do a 15-second one with the mic on.
Yeah.
Soon, no.
That'll give you the answer then.
Take your 15 seconds to work that out. The other thing is I don't know if you've got the ability or if you've got the luxury of having more than one phone.
Yeah.
Try it on a different phone. The thing about me is I keep all my old phones. Look, here's 3 phones there. Look.
Oh, crikey.
And then you've got my latest phone. So there's 4. I have them as alarm clocks and things.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things.
He says here, I'll see how my next video goes without the clip-on mic. It might be okay. You never know. I don't use a mic. Probably people saying, "Yeah, no, we can tell." But I don't use. It's on my phone.
Keep it out of sync. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
it'll be like one of those Japanese films where they go, "So you want to fight? Want to fight? What?"
Oh,
I'm sure he said. I'm sure he opened his mouth about 15 times when he said 3 words.
Yeah. Hey, you are. You're getting complimented here. I enjoy it. Jamie says, I enjoyed your gaming challenge videos, Delboy. You should bring them back.
See, that's the thing. That'd be really nice to bring back, but the problem is the gaming challenge was set specifically for to a person, there were 7 people, and they had to tell me what they wanted me to do, and I did the video the next day, the very next day, because it was going to be one I didn't know what it was. You see what I mean? So again, you can't give me a game to play and then I do it in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah,
doesn't work. So that's one I'll definitely bring back when I'm back to full strength. And Muckman will definitely be one I'd be asking, what game would you like me to play? Because he gave me some crackers.
Yeah.
He gave me some crackers. He gave me a couple from the Mega Drive. And, some real stuff there.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are people that know me like Ponder and even 20th Century Gaming got involved with that.
Yeah.
And they were all asking me to play things on things like Spectrums, which I only had a Spectrum for about 6 months. But anyway, moving on.
Jamie says here, I have some ideas for YouTube videos, but it takes a lot of prep, which puts me off, especially since I've been felt run down in the last couple of months. Well, if you feel like that, you can't do anything about it. I've got an idea for you. Why don't you do like in the Criterion closet? Why don't you just go like this amongst yourself, just pick a film off the shelf and talk about it? Talk about why you like that particular film. Hopefully you've seen it. If you've not seen it, because some of you seem to have films on the shelf that you haven't watched, then just cut that and find one. You'll find one that you have watched.
I posed a question to.
And just try that.
About a year or so ago, I posed a question to someone. I said, "I'll tell you what I'd like to know." Because of everything that you do with horror. So this was a horror person that I asked the question. I said, what is the quintessential vampire film?
Right.
And I'd really like to know what you think is the best vampire film out there and what makes a quintessential vampire. Forget Dracula, right?
Yeah.
I want to know vampire film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has it got to have all of those tropes?
Yeah.
Has it got to be something where it doesn't have to be that as long as it's got this in it?
Yeah.
Whatever, right? Because if you're a person that is well known for horror, then of course they're going to listen if they turn around and say, to me, this is a quintessential film that makes it a vampire film. Right?
I think this might be controversial, but I think why people like vampires is because it's very sexual. It is very sexual, and people are fascinated by that. Yeah. So in a way,
you might turn around and say to me, the quintessential vampire films is the one that's got a little bit of titillation in it. Others might turn around and say, no, I like it when it's a modern take where all the stereotypicalness has gone out of the way and they do a new slant on what a vampire is. Like Blade is a hybrid of a vampire and a normal human, and therefore go out in the daylight. And you might, and all of this sort of stuff. Size just put there a perfect thing. He's put Fright Night is my favorite vampire film. But it's not about what's your favorite. It's what a quintessential vampire film, right?
Yeah.
Now, I love Fright Night, and I like Fright Night probably because it's got drama and comedy in it. Right?
Yes.
In equal measures, and I like both, and it works well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, like I say, other people would say Near Dark. Or other people might say.
I mean, I can understand why people like Fright Night, but for me, I do like more straight horror. I don't like the comedy as much. I do. I mean, there are good comedy vampire. That is a good combination.
Yeah, I like Salem's Lot.
But American Werewolf in London, that's got a lot of comedy in it as well. I mean, it's a brilliant film, but a really good vampire film. There's such a lot.
Yeah, Salem's Lot. I mean, is a fantastic.
Film. There's just so many. And I say, in modern terms, look at Sinners. Sinners is a great vampire film. It's.
I mean, I don't think people will mention things like Blackula very much.
No,
but you never know. You never know.
David
Niven, was it David Niven that was in?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think David. I'm sure that's right. Yeah, David Niven.
Wasn't he? Didn't he go around giving false teeth to somebody, and he had to go around biting the necks of women or something,
He's
so he could find the bloodline or something, didn't
It's
he?
crazy.
And these fangs had some sort of hollowness to them, so that he could drag the blood out of them. So he
Yeah.
could. Wasn't that right? Something like that. That's a weird take on a vampire film, if ever I've heard of one.
Oh, anyhow, right. And then Si says, I went to school with Chas Chandler from The Animals. Oh, yeah, because you mentioned The Animals earlier. Oh, wow. Yeah. Chas Chandler. And, of course, he's famous for managing Slade. He went on to be a manager, didn't he?
Anyway, I'm gonna shut up because we need to get through this now, don't we? Christ.
And then Sandy says, hello, welcome, Sandy. And then Tony says, hi, Sandy. Sandy says, can I ask Del, are you still playing Bell Right? I bought it, and it would be really, really great to play it online with you sometime.
I tell you what, we'll try and set that up. Not a problem. Although I don't know any way to get in touch with you. But when I do get to play it, it's always after 9 o'clock, Sandy, just purely because that's when my mum goes to bed and I've got time.
Well, that is email at Sandy.
I don't know. That could be your channel motif.
Yeah, I don't know. I would. It's put at. I don't know. You could check it. Maybe I don't know.
Everybody's got at in front of theirs.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's a good idea. And then Si says,
I'm loving my time in Bell, right? I think it's great.
Yeah. Santa says, I'm watching the old Casino Royale on ITV4 right now.
Oh God, yeah.
David Niven, Peter Sellers. Yeah, I forgot Peter Sellers. Yeah.
Well, that's got Woody Allen. That's got Woody Allen in it.
Yeah, it is weird. Oh God, don't mention them again. Yeah, it is weird. It's weird, isn't it? And then Tony says the theme for that is real earworm, Sandy. Yeah.
Every time somebody mentions Casino Royale, I keep thinking of my man Flynn.
Oh yeah. Oh, Coburn, James Coburn.
Because that had that irritating phone, didn't it?
Yeah.
That went.
I remember that being watching those on TV at one time. They were on TV quite a bit.
Well, there's two Flint films, isn't there? There's two spy Flint films.
Yeah.
In like Flint and a man from Flint or whatever it is.
It would have been its 70s, I think they were on TV.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. Yes, Tony, it keeps popping up, and it really is. And then no,
it really is. He was just
I've just seen Cat Weasel pop up in this film too. Oh, what's his
Cat
name?
Weasel,
Jeffrey
wow.
Belden. Jeffrey Belden. It's years since I saw it, Sandy. So many well-known people in it. Yeah. Breathless is French. Ah, that's it. Yes. Jean-Paul Belmondo stars. Yeah. It looks interesting. A lot of people talk about it. No, Delboy, I sent you a link to Star Trek The Motion Picture poster I thought you might be interested in.
Oh, no, he did, but I thought that he might have, I think he mentioned one of the vintage ranges, and I think you ought to get this film. It was about a week ago. Star Trek The Motion Picture was interesting, but I've already got that. When it comes to Star Trek The Motion Picture,
everything.
I've got the original Odeon picture of Star Trek The Motion Picture poster, the trifold one so I've got the one that's horizontal and vertical.
Yeah.
Right. And that was from my hometown, and I keep that in pristine on that. Otherwise I'd have been all over it. And of course, the last time I met Denny in Birmingham, he bought me a miniaturized frame version.
Yeah.
Used to be my wallpaper for a while.
Wilhelm Dafoe, best film, Flight of the Intruder, a brilliant film about the A6. Oh, I don't know this one. Yeah, now here we are. Si's done it. Si is so he knows his stuff, which I don't. Children of a Lesser God is William Hurt. Yes, that's it. I just thought just popped into my head, that film. I don't know why. because I thought it's a very moving film, and I remember going to see it in
Yeah.
the cinema because she really was a deaf girl.
I think I've
Fantastic.
seen Children of the
Yeah.
Lesser God.
Yeah.
It rings a bell anyway.
Yeah. So we've got 20th Century Gaming here saying, "Hi lads, are you fans of Creature from the Black
Yeah, I read that
Lagoon?"
out a moment
As
ago.
a kid,
Didn't
we
I?
used to watch it, yeah, on a projector in the 70s. So,
I really did like Creatures from the Black Lagoon.
yeah,
I did think it was a bit of a push to add it to the Universal Monsters, though, being a 50s film and the monsters being the 30s.
yeah,
But I did understand why it was. And
yeah,
I saw Creatures from the Black Lagoon. I went to a drive-in in the States when I visited it during the 90s.
yeah.
And it's a perfect drive-in film. It was shown at the same time as The Blob,
Oh,
the original
right.
Steve McQueen Blob.
Yeah, I know the Blob. Yeah,
You parked up next to a post and you put headphones on. This driving.
yeah.
Brilliant it was.
Sandy says, 20th Century Games. Did you ever go to the Saturday morning picture show with things like Shazam?
Now I've talked about that a million times, haven't I? Going to Saturday morning cinema.
Yeah.
And I told you that they always used to be double bills. It was 50 pence. It started off with Flash Gordon does whatever it is.
Yeah.
There would be 2 Disney films, usually something like The Aristocats and Robin Hood or something, or Escape from Witch Mountain and this.
Yeah.
Later on, it was Meteor and something else, right? It was,
Right. Yeah.
so it was more adult orientated. Yeah, used to love going to Saturday morning cinema.
20th Century Gaming says, no, only early Saturday morning cinema was Hulk. Oh.
Yeah, do you remember on Saturday morning cinema they even showed at the if you had an Odeon, the TV series The Hulk as a 2-part episode put together and make it into a film, and it was shown at the same time as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So we are talking 1977, 78.
Yeah. Wow.
Those were cinema releases in Europe and TV pilots in the States.
Yeah. And then you're not as old and crusty as me. Laugh out loud, Sandy says.
Listen, I creak when I walk.
Yeah. It's the 74 original. Of course it would be. It had to be of Pelham. It couldn't be anything else, could it, really? James says, already did the test of that test, Delboy. Other thing I think it might be is when it's saving to YouTube. Oh, this is about the sync business.
I'll tell you another thing you could do then. Download a free app. No, not a free app. A free program on your PC called Handbrake. Handbrake. And all you do is, before uploading it to YouTube, you put it into Handbrake and you say, encode MP4, whatever it is, right? 24 frames, then upload it. Because I've not had sync issues that YouTube has caused the problem. Because if you're thinking it might be when it's saving to YouTube, have you played it before uploading to YouTube? Then you'd know, wouldn't you? Because it'd be out of sync before you be in sync when you recorded it and out of sync when it got to YouTube. You could just play back your own recording, couldn't you? But anyway, it's called Handbrake, matey. It's free.
Yeah.
It costs nothing.
Fright Night is my favorite vampire film. Yeah. Sai says, and James says, Only Lovers Left Alive is a fantastic.
Oh, that's awful fun.
Which is very underrated, directed by Jim Jarmusch and starring Tom Hiddleston. Oh, Tom Hiddleston. And I know you like her.
That's how I've heard of. That's how I've heard of it, because of Tilda.
I
believe I've heard of that because of Tilda.
Oh, you're a big fan, aren't you, Tilda? I know Jamie is. Yeah, big fan of Tilda. Also, as the great John Hurt in it. Oh well, say no more. And then Muckman says, I'm excited to hear Kiss of the Spider Woman is getting a Criterion release. I've been wanting to see that for years. Oh,
Isn't it really good when you hear of something that you've been waiting years and then suddenly it crops up and you go, "Oh, thank God for that." I think a lot of people will be. I think a lot of people will be like that with Fright Night Part 2, won't they?
Yeah.
And that finally comes out.
Oh, crikey! I didn't know this one. This is actually the last comment. Have you seen that there's a remake of Kind Hearts and Coronets coming out? It stars Glenn Powell from Running Man, which a lot of people haven't particularly given good reviews to, and it's called How to Make a Killing. I don't know what to say, really. I suppose you should give them a chance. But Kind Hearts and Coronets is a great film, Alec Guinness and all that. But I think I know you've said it, and I think we should give it a chance. But
well, I said last year, and I said it this year that I'm going to try and be a glass half full type person, and try not to watch too many trailers, and try not to be pessimistic before something's even coming out and giving it a bloody rundown before it's even come out.
Si says something important here. He says he only plays one character, though, unlike Alec Guinness. Because he played all these characters.
He did.
And then Tony says, they'll never be better original, in my opinion. Alex Guinness will take some beating. I totally agree. It was a wonderful performance. And he says, sod that. Oh.
Who was that? Who was the actor that played... Do you remember? I think it's called The Seven Faces of Dr. Lau or something. It was a character that played seven. It was an actor who played 7 different characters, and it was all based around China or Japan or something. Was it Tony Randall?
Oh, right.
It was a Ray Harryhausen. Was it a Ray Harryhausen thing? It was the 7 Faces of. I forgot what it's called. I'm going to look that up now. But that was a fantastic film.
Yeah.
7 Faces. It is of Dr. Lau.
No, there. Good memory.
7 Faces of Dr. Lau.
That's why you
it was Tony Randall. I was right.
Yeah, there you are. You see, there's stuff alive in that brain.
And it's got Barbara Eden in it, John Erickson, Arthur O'Connell, Kevin Tate, Lee Patrick. It's 1964. Wow. Warner Archive.
And then Jamie says, "What's the point?" I know where you're coming from. I mean, it's such a good film. Kind Hearts is my favorite healing comedy, so I won't be seeing the remake. I understand that, if you love a film. And Si says the Lady Killers from it. I know.
I hated the Tom Hanks Lady Killers. It was
but the one with Alex Guinness is fantastic. And of course, I knew Tony, and I agree. I loved it as well. The Lavender Hill Mob is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. And that's it. We've come to the end. We're at the end.
It is 11 o'clock.
Yes. And then Tony says, good night, all, and thanks. And thank you so much, Tony, as usual, for being here with us. And
I just want to say thanks for all your support, guys. Thanks very much.
Yeah, and thank you, Delboy. I always say it, but it's great that you come on, and I'm glad you enjoy it, because I enjoy it, and I think all 6 people watching hopefully are enjoying it. And it's been great. Absolutely.
It's not about how many people's watching.
Yeah. Good night, Jamie.
How many people got enjoyment out of
exactly. We all did. Jamie says good night, Jamie, and Star says 99 guys. Cheers for the movie chat and the obligatory shout out to Mrs. Dell. Fantastic. I always say a big thank you to you, Delboy, and a big thank you to everybody that's, even if you've just been watching, thank you so much. And thank you for anybody that's contributed. And it's great. We love it. And we'll be back again as usual next week. And I just let Delboy say his fire wells as we always do.
And then we do that. And it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night. That's what the two run. Did you honestly? Were you a big fan of the two runners with the news that they used to do? You know,
Love two runners. Yeah.
You know, well, the two runners, yeah. But what I'm saying is, did you used to like the news bit? They did a book.
Yes.
I remember paperback books with all of the jokes that they had.
Yeah. I loved it. You know, they were just brilliant.
I thought they were brilliant as newscasters.
Yeah.
I thought they were.
Yeah, it was very clever. It was brilliant
because they started and ended their shows.
Yeah,
with the news bit. I always thought that was very clever. But yeah. So I usually end my channel with the salute, because that's Frankie Howard and up Pompeii, and they call him Lurk a lot because he does. So there you are. Lurk a lot. Anyway. So salute from me.
And all I've got to say is I'll see thee again. Bye everyone.
And have a great grand time.
Bye. Bye.